Darlington, South Carolina, a small town of just over 6,000 that for 60 years has been famous for one thing.
This is South Carolina, a kind of a mass picnic and cookout with fireworks and sleeping under the stars. Some 35,000 strong in the infield with another 40,000 in the grandstands.
This is what it's all about.
Darlington Raceway became NASCAR's most notorious track by accident. In 1950, when the place was being built on an old farm field, they had to work around the neighbor's minnow pond. That meant pinching off one end of the speedway. The odd shape produced a track that's given even the best NASCAR drivers fits for generations and will again tonight.
T-minus 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ignition.
ESPN welcomes you to NASCAR Countdown. Tonight it's 200 miles for the NASCAR Nationwide Series from tough old Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. So much of NASCAR's early racing heritage is tied to this track, the sport's original superspeedway. Fans across many generations have come out tonight to see today's star drivers take on the track that's given their predecessors all they can handle for 60 years. And then some. It was 1948 when founder Harold Brasington began building his track. The odd shape previously described necessary to protect Ramsey's minnow pond next door. The story goes this plot of land becoming a racetrack came out of a poker game. First race, September 4th, 1950, the inaugural Southern 500 won by Californian Johnny Mance. 75 cars started. Darlington, one of 6 tracks from the very first season of the Nationwide Series, still holding races. Jeff Bodine won the inaugural April 3rd, 1982. And the most successful driver here in the Nationwide Series, Mark Martin, no surprise. 8 victories, including 2 strings of 3 in a row, 93-94 and 99-2000. Now, the story of today includes some weather. Looks great now, but about 3 o'clock this afternoon here local time, it rained pretty hard, and that was when the Nationwide Series cars were supposed to go out and qualify. Well, that's not very good weather to be qualifying in, so NASCAR called off time trials, and according to the NASCAR rulebook, the field lined up by basically owner points. Kyle Busch and Ryan Newman will share the front row for tonight's race. And what better place to be than right in the middle of all the action in the Darlington infield? That's where you'll find our ESPN pit studio. And inside, Alan Bestwick, Rusty Wallace, and Brad Daugherty, welcome to a very special place.
This is a special place. This is the biggest, baddest cat in the jungle. And you see everything happen at this racetrack. It's an unforgiving place. You see guys come off 2 and wreck. You see guys come off 4, hit the wall too hard. We even saw Mark Martin spin out on the back straight last year. So it's a really unforgiving racetrack that gives no quarter, and it reaches up and bites guys all night long.
Rusty, why is this racetrack for a driver such a difficult place?
Alan, you're just going so fast at this racetrack. Let's take a look at this shot. I mean, look how big this track is, almost 60 foot wide, the corners, and these guys are running over 200 miles an hour, but you know what? They're running on the top 10 feet of this racetrack. That's a fast way around. And if you have one slip up, man, you are in the wall, you are crashing, and it's going to happen all night long. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, you're right about that.
All you need to know about how tough Darlington is to look back at the highlights from last year's Nationwide Series race here when the best in the business got eaten up by this place.
We're looking at Carl Edwards. We take off down the corner. Right front tire goes out. Kaboom! Head on into the wall. His night ended early after a wreck on 1 and 3. We see right here, goes in the corner. Kyle Busch, the 2 leaders of our series this year, he's into the fence. I'll tell you what, half the field wrecked last year. It was just unbelievable.
Boy, take a look at Matt Kent as he's coming off the turn right here. He hits the wall, spins out, hits the inside wall, and look, it just wasn't it's the veterans having problems too. It just wasn't the rookies.
Here's Mark Martin on what was the final restart of the night, or was supposed to be. He has trouble when his car sputters and runs out of fuel, and look at the mayhem that the race ended with last year. The best in the business in trouble at Darlington a year ago. All right, so that was last year. It hasn't gotten any easier in 12 months' time. Practice this morning was eventful. 14 contact with the wall incidents, all totaled with 3 teams going to backup cars.
I'll tell you what, I mean, everybody's spinning and crashing. A lot of people wondered if this track was going to be better the second time around. Remember, it was brand new pavement last year. It's had a year to season. From what I'm seeing, nothing's changed from last year.
One of the guys going to a backup car, Brendan Gaughan, who is with Dave Burns right now.
And I know, Alan, he'd like to be the representative at the end of the day that's in the top 3 or something like that versus the guys who wrecked. But, Brendan, was there any takeaway from the wreck today? Did you find a limit that you know about now at the track?
No, I mean, driver made an error. And you got to remember at Darlington, you race the racetrack. I mean, we've heard it a million times, over the years. And I went in too high to turn 3, and Rusty came down, and we talked a little bit afterwards. He's trying to keep my spirits up because I was pretty mad at myself for making it. But you can see the line. It's defined around here. The tires are leaving rubber down. You can see it. And in turn 3, it doesn't run like it used to. You got to stay off that wall a little bit more than you always used to here. So I'll be all right. RW gives me some great race cars, and I feel that this, I was bummed. I wanted to qualify so I could put in the top 10 and scare my guys trying to do it.
Well, speaking of scaring us, maybe, you haven't had any laps in this backup car. So, Brendan, what are the first laps going to be like for you on this track?
Well, I mean, first laps, you got to feel it out, but Rusty gives us great race cars. Our Chevys are prepared identical at the race shop. Our body that we have is just a little different than the one we had as the primary, but underneath it, suspension, geometry, all the camber and caster stuff that Rusty loves to talk about, it's all identical. So we're going to go out there and act like it's the primary. I start right next to Steven, though, or at least Steven's like on the outside of me, I'm on the bottom there, so I think I might try to take it easy around just me and Steven to start. I don't need to take both Rusty's cars out. That'd be really bad career move.
Alan, those Rusty Wallace cars start 14th and Brendan 15th.
At least he understands the big picture, too. The last 3 straight Nationwide Series races here at Darlington have been won by Joe Gibbs Racing's 20 car with 2 different drivers. Denny Hamlin started on the pole and won twice in 06 and again in 07, remembering victims of the Virginia Tech tragedy after the second one. Then last year, Tony Stewart dominated to complete the three-peat. The Joe Gibbs 20 car has led almost half the laps in this race the last 3 times. Now tonight, that 20 car is going to be driven by Joey Logano, the 18-year-old who makes his first Darlington start in this race. With no testing allowed, Logano recently got together with 5-time Southern 500 winner Cale Yarborough to try and learn this tough old track.
Cale's an awesome guy. So back then when you just got your car, did you go to the car dealership and buy the car and start there and then tear it apart
that's
and go
where,
from there?
yeah, that's where all these cars started from.
He just bungee corded his foot down and off he went.
Yeah, that's right.
He comes out in his old school uniform. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. I look over at him. Cale Yarborough is giving me a ride around Darlington. It was cool, he gave me a few tips.
One of my secrets here was the quicker you can pick up the throttle, no matter how much, as long as you get some momentum going, more control you got all the way through that corner.
Not many people can say they did that. It was awesome. I remember
May
that.
not work for you, but try it.
We'll try it.
And I haven't told everybody that.
Try it. It might not work. Just try it. I like that. Several examples of talented young drivers taking to this racetrack very quickly.
Yeah.
Including, Logano's hoping he's won here tonight, but look at this list.
Yeah, we got a great list here. We got Todd Bodine, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Both of those guys have won a lot of races, but they adapted very quickly here.
Well, take a look at David Stremme right there. His first time out, a 5th place finish. Great job.
By the way, Denny Hamlin, that wasn't just his first Darlington race. That was his first Nationwide Series race ever.
Wow.
And he got a top 10 here. Brad, even though Cale Yarborough last drove here 11 years ago, Logano would be wise to listen to his advice.
Yes, he would. And what you do is you have racetracks like Dover, Rockingham, Bristol, and Darlington. Racetracks where the drivers have to be physically tough, just like Cale Yarborough was, to manhandle the race cars at times when the car's not as great as it should be. Cale is the perfect example, though. Not only was he a great race car driver at this track, he's a great race car driver, period, from Timmonsville, South Carolina. So this is his backyard. This is his home court, just like Jimmy Johnson when we go to Lowe's.
And Rusty, a word that Cale Yarborough mentioned there was momentum. That's a key on this difficult track to being able to pass.
Oh, Alan, you're exactly right. Momentum is very, very important. Let's take a look at some cars right here. Now, they're coming off of turn 4. Look at this car we're riding on board with. He's going to get a lot of momentum off the corner, zip on down, past the inside right there, Carl Edwards. And look at that, just so much momentum, and you're going to see this a lot throughout the night. Let's take another look here. Look at the 20 car right now, getting boxed up behind this car in front of him. And the 32 car, I believe that's Kyle Busch in that car, zips right past with that momentum, and you've got to use that momentum to your advantage. And you're going to see that throughout the night. And if you don't know how to do it, you won't be able to pass too good.
Saw Kyle Busch there, hoping to keep his momentum up tonight as well in the Gibbs 18, Jamie.
Momentum is the word. A birthday sweep last weekend, winning both races. Kyle, you guys have practiced and quit early this morning, but it's rained since then. What kind of car do you think you have?
Well, I think it'll be pretty good. The Z-Line Designs Toyota's always been fast, but we'll see how it goes today. We ended early because we just weren't sure what we really needed to do. We weren't going to learn anything. I wasn't going to learn anything. I got enough laps around here, and you know, the tires, you can go out there on the same set of tires and keep running fuel out of it and keep going faster, but you're only going to get 3 laps and you're just going to be too tight. So, you know, we felt like we had a good enough race car when we unloaded here that we could just take a chance with it. And unfortunately, we didn't get to qualify, but fortunately, we get the pole easy. And, you know, we'll just kind of see what we can do and try to keep our car up front.
Well, Alan, track position is key, and the man has it. He's starting on the pole for the 2nd time this season.
Hey, you'll take those gimmies for pole positions when you get them, for sure. So Kyle Busch to lead this field to the green flag tonight. It is Southern 500 weekend in Darlington, South Carolina. For years, that meant parades through town, a big celebration, all leading up to racing at the track too tough to tame, that tonight features the NASCAR Nationwide Series for 200 miles.
NASCAR Countdown, brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Play Driver Pick'em presented by Nationwide Insurance on ESPN.com for a weekly shot at $500.
This could be a very bad accident to one of the best-known race drivers in the world, Richard Petty.
I never will forget the images of his arm just flailing out of the car, and when it comes to a stop, he's hanging out of it. And the teams and the crew all running over there to see what they could do. That was dramatic.
Richard was meant to be here because he probably should have been killed that day.
They touch! They touch! Kramer even got him! What a finish!
2 guys going for it, a big race, a real important race, and it shows the intensity that this sport's all about, and it was certainly one of the best finishes ever.
You have to go to the footage to see who won it, you know, because, and then they racked all the way down into turn 1. I mean, it was pretty crazy. We don't see as much of that as we'd like to. You know, I know the fans enjoy something like that.
That was one for the ages. There have been more photos and more posters taken of that finish than I think any finish I've ever seen.
Just a couple of great memories over 60 years of NASCAR racing at Darlington. You know, part of the lore of this tough old track is something called the Darlington Stripe. And one of the best ever here, David Pearson, sat down recently with ESPN.com's Ed Hinton and NASCAR's Jim Hunter to talk a little history.
I think Wood Brothers were one of the first car owners to put something in the right rear.
Yeah, we used to put
scrape the wall.
Braces up, you know, against the outside, the sheet metal and stuff like that, so you could get against the wall. And I know the first time I hit that thing, I thought I'd done tore the whole side off. Come in and a little streak down the side. You know.
The Darlington Stripe.
Yeah.
Old school, new school, some things never change at Darlington Raceway. And the Darlington Stripe leads me to this. How hard and how much can you lean against that wall and still be successful tonight?
Just a little bit, because I will tell you one thing, though, guys. There is nothing good that comes out of hitting that wall, that's for sure. I mean, you can bend the toe in, mess the rear end up, stuff like that. But, you know, when you talk to the drivers, if you haven't hit the wall just a little bit, a lot of your peers will think that you're not too brave of a guy. So a lot of them like to get a little stripe just to think they're tough.
Stripe's a badge of honor.
Yeah, that's right.
For this year's race, one of the questions has been about the track surface. It was paved before this race a year ago, which resulted in less of the tire wear and speed fall off we'd seen in past Darlington races, but certainly a lot more speed a year later. What's it going to be?
We're seeing a lot of speed in this racetrack. Guys are running 200 miles an hour off into the corners at a racetrack that they should be running probably 150 or 60. So there is a ton of speed, and the surface is still holding up extremely well after last year. It's very, very nice, smooth surface, but the thing we're seeing is more sand and pebbles. Some of the topography starting to get into the racetrack, so that's going to make it a little bit different than last year.
Topography.
You like that?
Proud of yourself, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Speaking of old school, new school, there are a couple of ways to try and beef up that right side sheet metal to keep from having a problem here. For that, we go to the Craftsman Tech Garage and say hello to Tim Brewer.
Here in Darlington, South Carolina, you're going to hit the wall. So you need 2 things. You need a tough race car and lady luck. The tough aspect, we used to use 2x4s on the inside of the roll cage to protect the sheet metal from coming in on the tires. But coming from the Cup Series, the energy-absorbing foam, that was utilized to make the car safer. But as well, it made them tougher. Now, some of the guys in the garage area using the old technology of the 2x4s, some guys using the new technology of the foam. But I passed a couple of guys in the garage area today, they're actually using both.
All right, Mr. Brewer, thank you much. A couple other things to watch for tonight. Some different faces in different places.
Oh, yeah, there's Scott Wimmer right there driving the number 5 car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. This guy's got a good car and a good shot to run good tonight.
Yeah, he actually does. And another guy we're going to see tonight get in there and mix it up a little bit will be Jeff Green, who is a former champion this series. And he's actually going to be driving the car that Scott Wimmer's been driving some this year. So it's good to see both of these guys. They're both excellent competitors.
And then there's Ryan Newman, tonight's driver of the Harvick 33, who starts second. Shannon?
That's right, Alan. Ryan Newman is a 2-time pole winner here at Darlington, and while it's not the pole here tonight, it is the front row. So how important is starting up front here at this racetrack?
Well, it's a relatively short race, 200 miles, 147 laps. So to start up front, you don't have to work to get up front, and I think we got a pretty good car. It's just have to bide our time and see what happens. The starts are going to be interesting. It's also going to be interesting after the race, after the rain that we had after our practice, to see what the track is like. So we'll see.
All right, Ryan Newman back in this 33 car. He finished second at Talladega in this very car. Alan?
Okay, Shannon, thanks. A look at the NASCAR Nationwide Series standings beginning the night shows Kyle Busch leading Carl Edwards by 82 points after 9 of 35 races. Number of others hanging right with him.
Yeah, Jason Leffler, he's hanging with the big boys as well. I'm going to go on down to Stephen Wallace. What about him sliding into that top 10
Hey,
this
I
week?
appreciate that. Take a look at Scott Legacy, though. Legacy's running really good right now. He moved up to 9th. That's a good run.
Yeah,
He's
he
been
really
staying
is.
there for the last couple weeks.
The aforementioned Jason Leffler is with Dave.
And he's riding 6 top 10 finishes this year, Alan, including the last 3, Jason. What pleases you most about now being third in points?
Well, I think, our race cars have been really consistent lately, and it pays off, when you show up at the racetrack and it's consistent, you just work on whether it's tight or loose. So Scott Zibadelli and all the guys in the Great Clips car have done a great job. We're just continuing to get faster and faster. We have a great car here tonight, but I want to get to victory lane. It would be great, and maybe tonight's tonight.
Well, speaking of top 10s, Alan, 3 in a row here at this racetrack in the last 3 years for Jason.
And a good starting spot for Jason Leffler in 7th spot. Speaking of starting, we have to start getting Rusty from here up to the top to call the race, so we'll send you on your way.
Hey, I hear the elevator's broke, so I'm going to have to try a different way to get up there.
Don't sweat through your suit. That wouldn't
Okay,
be
I'll
pretty.
run pretty quick, though.
While we get him out of here, let's go back to the grid and hear from Carl Edwards. He's with Dave. I'm sorry, he's with Mike.
That's okay. As we've mentioned several times, it's been a pretty intense championship battle so far here in the Nationwide Series, but Kyle Busch getting away from you a little bit. That said, how important is it for you to keep him within your sights tonight?
Well, it's still really early in the season, but it's just like we were talking about. A year ago I came to this race and was with a really fast race car, as fast as our Scott's liquid feed car is right now, and I ran into the fence. And I was just thinking about that before the race. Those points cost me the whole season. So I've got to come into this race and we've got to just make sure we make it to the end. And if we deserve to be in front of Kyle and close in, then that's where we'll be. And I think we've got a good enough car to do it. It's pretty fast.
And Alan, Carl certainly due for a win. Hasn't gotten one yet this year, but with his next victory, he'll move into a 3-way tie for 11th all-time with Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant.
All right, Michael, thank you. I was distracted by Brad's topography thing. A couple other drivers to watch tonight. Stephen Wallace in the top 10 in points for the first time in his Nationwide Series career, and there's Scott Legacy Jr. right next to him. Wallace lining up 14th, Legacy Jr. starting 13th in his Darlington debut. Michael McDowell, 8th in points, also a Darlington debut for him in the Nationwide Series. He starts 12th in this one. And our in-race reporter tonight is Brad Keselowski, who will drive that 88 car. Brad, if you've got a question you'd like to suggest for us to ask him, log on to ESPN.com, keyword Ask the Driver, and stay tuned, see if we use your question. He's been the subject of a lot of discussion this weekend with Mark Martin's announcement Wednesday that he's going to return to the Hendrick 5 full-time next year on the Sprint Cup side.
Yeah, and I spoke to Marshall Carlson this morning, who's GM over at Hendrick Motorsports, and we talked about this exclusively, and he said that, they're really encouraging Brad to spend next season in the Nationwide Series, run for a championship, continue to develop. He's only 25 years old. Let's back down this rush to get into the Cup car. Who knows what Mark Martin will do after next season, and it'll be waiting on him.
And after a tough start in this season, first 4 races averaged 22nd, Brad Keselowski's come on quite a bit. Last 5 races averaged 4.4, 15th to 5th in the championship for Keselowski, our in-race reporter tonight. NASCAR Countdown continues from Darlington, South Carolina, population about 6,500. And today, the center of the NASCAR racing world on Southern 500 weekend. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell at 8 Eastern has the Tampa Bay Rays visiting Fenway Park for another battle against the Boston Red Sox. Then Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern, the Atlanta Braves take on divisional rivals, the Mets. Major League Baseball, ESPN and ESPN 360, Sunday and Monday night.
Oh, best quality about my mom. I have to pick one.
My mother is just cool. You know, the support she's given me and the things she's sacrificed for me and my brother, I really admire her for it.
Since I was little coming up through racing, you know, she's always been at the racetrack helping me out.
She never comes in the pits. She doesn't want to feel like she's a distraction or a burden. She goes up in the grandstands and she'll sit and watch every race.
You know, she was up till 3 in the morning last night. I woke up and I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm just nervous for tomorrow."
She's always helping, and she's just a great person. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Many of the drivers have their wives and moms here at the track with them. That's not all that unusual, but this being Mother's Day weekend, it's always very nice to be able to spend the time.
Absolutely. Mamas, they make the world go round.
Wonder how many florist deliveries there are to the motorhome lot.
Man.
Big Brad spent some time Thursday here filming one of his Taste of the Track segments with South Carolina native Jason Keller.
Boy, we had a big time. Jason Keller did a great job, put out a big spread for us, and it's going to be a little treat for folks to watch. He had some shrimps, had a little Old Bay on them. We put them on the plate, got after it. It was awesome.
Full version on Countdown before an upcoming race. Keller would love to win at his home state track here in South Carolina. He's enjoyed success here, though hasn't won yet. He does lead all drivers in laps and miles run in this series. No small feat at a track where not finishing is easy to do. Keller's got some work to do tonight, though. He comes from the back in a backup car after a practice crash today. And a sad note now, on Wednesday, former Nationwide Series driver Kevin Grubb was found dead in a hotel room just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Police say it was an apparent suicide. Grubb made 174 Nationwide Series starts with 10 top 5 finishes. He was twice suspended by NASCAR for violating its substance abuse policy. Kevin Grubb was 31 years old. Our condolences to his family and friends. As we close in on the green flag, the weather looking a little bit better from that heavy storm we had earlier today here at Darlington. Driver introductions are just about wrapped up, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing in Darlington.
They call Darlington the Lady in Black. You know, she can jump up and bite you.
Oh, Reagan hard in the wall.
You always think of you know, the Black Widow, the Lady in Black, the toughest things wear black, the bad guys wear black.
You've got to be at the limit. You can't be below it and you can't be over it.
Just when you start to get in your groove, you'll get one of them Darlington stripes and it'll remind you that this place is too tough to tame.
Man, that is your worst nightmare right there.
You're not focused on her and you're focused on anything else, including your competition. She will get you.
Hang on there, hang on. It's going to bite you in the butt right away. It's the Lady in Black.
The Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. Those and many other nicknames we can't say on TV. The drivers have called this place over the years. All for Darlington Raceway, where race 10 of the NASCAR Nationwide Series for 2009 goes green just minutes from now. Let's go trackside for the opening ceremony.
South Carolina Air National Guard Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Darlington Raceway Chaplain Harold King offers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are delighted tonight to celebrate the 60 years of service to NASCAR through the Darlington Raceway, a track that's filled with history and tradition. Father, we pray tonight that you'll bless these blessed NASCAR fans as they come in. Bless, oh Lord, the drivers, protect them physically as well as spiritually. And Father, we are mindful of the great responsibility of the leaders of our nation, and we pray, Lord, that you'll bless them. And those that serve us in the armed forces, oh Lord, we pray that you'll be with them this hour. Bless us now, Lord, and let us be mindful of the need of others as we share this evening together. In the name of Jesus, we offer this prayer. Amen.
And now to perform our national anthem, please welcome Sarah Myers and Erica Wallen from Pennsylvania.
Oh, say can you see
So getting ready to go as drivers begin to climb aboard and buckle in at the track that's been given NASCAR's best drivers fits for 60 years. Tonight it tests the newest generation of racing stars for 200 miles. They'll start them up at Darlington Raceway when we come back.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Darlington Raceway. Brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, official auto insurance partner of NASCAR. And GNC. At GNC, we believe a quality life starts from within. Live well.
All right, guys. Nice smooth stops. Let's do what we do every week. Clean, fast, go out first, win this thing. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
Well, certainly that pit crew for Kyle Busch, the championship leader and pole sitter for tonight's race, would be in a good position to try and help their driver score yet another victory at Darlington. There will be a little element of watching the radar during the race. 30% chance of thunderstorms in the forecast. Already had the big shower earlier. Temperature to remain in the upper 70s throughout race time. And one other little element to point out before we get set to go. How about the retro walls here at Darlington?
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, brings back the old days.
Haven't seen that since 1989 at this track. They even went with the old school logo on the walls. Of course, that's all been striped up by now.
There's an old school stripe or two on the wall, too.
All right, time to go upstairs to 3 men who have more than their share of Darlington stripe stories to tell from over the years. They're expecting me to say something else about old school, but I'm going to let it go. Rusty Wallace, Andy Petrie, and Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc?
Thank you, AB. Nice job. He always talks retro when he mentions us in old school. Hey, folks, if you ever needed proof that this place truly is too tough to tame, just reflect on what happened here 1 year ago when almost half the field did not finish. On that weekend, pre-race favorite Denny Hamlin didn't even qualify. He smacked the wall in qualifying. And how about an 8-time Darlington winner, Mark Martin, who was forced to a backup car after he hit the wall in the final practice session, had to start in the back of the pack. And then the pole sitter here, Carl Edwards, hit the wall not once but twice on lap 1 and lap 3 and finished dead last. And Rusty, why is this place so brutal on even the most experienced driver?
Doc, it really started last year, all these crashes. They repaved this racetrack. They got a really hard tire. These guys are running close to 200 miles per hour getting in the corners. And when you're running that fast and you're right on the wall, maybe 6 or 8 inches off the wall, you make one mistake, buddy, you are in the fence. And you know what? It's going to happen a lot tonight.
Andy, at the other end of the spectrum, there are 15 Darlington rookies making their very first NASCAR Nationwide Series start tonight. Now, from a rookie standpoint, what's the most difficult concept to grasp when you come here the first time?
Doc, the difficult thing for them to grasp is that you have to race the racetrack. I know they've heard it millions of times, but right here, you really have to race the racetrack. You can't get caught up in racing other cars on the racetrack, which they do every week. They try to get the best finish they can, but you can't get a finish unless you run the whole race, and you've got to race this racetrack.
The new pavement from a year ago now is aged a year. How about pit strategy here tonight?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a lot different. This surface has held up real well over the year that we've had on it, and I think we're going to see the tire holds up real well, and we're going to have cars that will stretch the fuel at the end of the race.
We saw some no tire changes, gas only, and some 2 tire stops a year ago. Could we see the same thing here tonight? Well, let's get ready to get going here at Darlington as we go trackside for the command.
And now, race fans, please welcome Vice President of Finance and Purchasing at Kellogg Supply Company in Manteo, North Carolina, Chris O'Neill, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
All right, you're up, fired up when you're ready. Let me know when they're, I'm a half a lap down. Let you know when you're a half a lap down. When the leaders is,
Engines have fired, and we are getting set to roll here at Darlington. Well, he pulled off the monumental upset in NASCAR Sprint Cup competition at Talladega 2 weeks ago. But he's still looking for his first NASCAR Nationwide Series win of the season. We'll ask our in-race reporter, Brad Keselowski, if that win will come here at historic Darlington Raceway tonight. It has been a freaky Friday already here at the track too tough to tame, as no fewer than 14 cars have experienced spins or contact with the wall. rookies Brendan Gaughan, Michael Annett, and the veteran Jason Keller. These three guys having to go to backup cars at the back of the pack. We mentioned that rain had washed away qualifying. They have lined up by owner's points, which puts Kyle Busch on the pole, and beside him Ryan Newman driving for Kevin Harvick Incorporated on the outside of row one. Now, while you watch to see where your favorite driver is starting, let's visit with our in-race reporter, the driver of the Delphi Chevrolet, Brad Keselowski, starting back in 8th spot.
Hey, Brad, Rusty Wallace up here in ESPN booth. You got us?
10-4, got you, Rusty.
Brad, I'll tell you what, man, there's been a lot of crashes today in practice. Does this really affect the way you're going to run this race tonight?
Yeah, without a doubt. These cars at these style racetracks are very difficult to drive. You know, I use the saying that the Nationwide car, it drives great until it starts to slip, and then you just wreck. You don't even get a chance to recover it. So, you know, hopefully that won't happen with our Delphi Chevrolet, and we'll be able to keep it pointed straight and stay out of those wrecks.
All right, man, I really appreciate it. We got an ESPN mailbag question right now. It comes from Clay in Plainfield, Indiana. He wants to know, how much physical effort does it take to run well here at Darlington?
Well, the Nationwide car isn't as bad. The race is a little shorter and all that, but the Cup car, it's amazing. I couldn't believe that when I practiced it today. But, you know, these race cars, they get hot. So I'm sure I'll lose a few pounds today and have to put it back on tonight to be ready for tomorrow's race. So I'm ready.
All right, man, thank you very much. Now, Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Tony Uri Sr.
Hey, Tony, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
10-4, got you.
Hey, Pops, we've been talking about and kind of speculating how this pit strategy might be with this good tire and surface. Let's just get it from somebody who's going to make the call. What do you think? At the end of the race, what are you going to do?
Well, I think we'll just wait and see what goes on here. But the tire, Goodyear brought a real good tire here. There's no wear on it hardly at all. You know, so we'll just play it by ear here and see what happens.
Okay, Tony, we appreciate it. You guys have good luck. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Brad Keselowski starting back in 8th position and trying to get to victory lane for the first time this year. He won twice a year ago at Nashville, Tennessee, and Bristol, Tennessee. Carrying a camera, our over-the-wall crewman tonight is the car chief and jack man for Jason Keller's Ford, John Reese, out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, in what will be a very congested pit road. There are 7 other cars carrying onboard cameras tonight, including Mike Bliss in the Miccosukee Resort Chevy. He starts back in 19th. He was the fastest car in the final practice session. And Scott Wimmer starts back in 31st, making the first of what will be 6 starts this year, driving the 5 car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Rick Hendrick. Well, when you come to Darlington, you can't help to talk about history, so let's do just that. First, here's Dave Burns.
Doc, how about some early history for a couple of people in the event tonight? Crew Chief Trent Owens was 6 years old when he first saw a race here. He came here to watch his uncle. Why is that significant? Well, his uncle was Richard Petty, so saw some great racing all the times that Trent came here. His driver tonight, Brian Vickers, had some early history as well in his career. When Vickers was 19, he won his one and only race here at Darlington, and that led to the 2003 Nationwide Series Championship.
And Dave, what about rewriting history? Jeff Burton is trying to carve out his own niche in Darlington lore. He comes into tonight with 4 Nationwide Series wins here at the track Too Tough to Tame, tying him for second on the all-time list with Harry Gant. A win would not only escalate him in the record books, but would also move his organization up as well. RCR, believe it or not, has never won here in Darlington in a nationwide race. Jamie?
Well, Mike, when it comes to history here at Darlington, it doesn't get better than Roush Fenway Racing. 14 wins in the Nationwide Series alone. The winningest car in the stable, the number 60. Mark Martin won 8 times, 1 time by Greg Biffle. Now the man who's behind the wheel in the 60, Carl Edwards, not only has he never won here, he's never led a lap. You can bet he wants to join history tonight. Shannon Spake?
Well, Jamie, in recent history here at Darlington Raceway, one number stands out. That is the 20 team of Joe Gibbs Racing. This team has been to victory lane the past 3 times at this racetrack with Denny Hamlin and Tony Stewart. Tonight it's 18-year-old Joey Logano who looks to make it 4 in a row, and if Logano does go to victory lane, he'll make another kind of history. He will be the youngest driver to win here at Darlington in either series. Doc?
Yeah, well, Shannon, no pressure at all on Joey Logano to try to continue that winning streak of 3 in a row in the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, this curved pit road here at Darlington requires a little planning to pick your pits. And Andy, tonight there were some very interesting picks.
Yeah, these guys picked by points because we didn't get to qualify. You see Carl Edwards has the first opening down there on pit road. He's going to be one of our top contenders tonight. And another contender is going to be Jeff Burton. You see, he's picked right here, not an opening, but he's got 2 cars on either side of him that probably won't see the first pit stop, so he'll have plenty of room to get in and out. And obviously, Kyle Busch has the best pit stall on pit road, that #1 pit stall coming off.
We talk about races being won on pit road, specifically coming off of pit road. Andy, where's the critical pit exit line?
Well, you see a lot of lines right here, but it's this line right here that these guys are going to be racing for. It's not going to be this line here or this one over here. These are timing lines. They're racing for that solid yellow line right there.
This race tonight is 200 miles, 147 laps. 1 tank of Sunoco fuel will get you about 55 to 60 laps. And there's the difficult racetrack. Different degrees of banking in this egg-shaped oval. More radius in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. Let's update what's going on with Carl Edwards' car. Dave.
Doc, I don't know what humidity has to do with all these electronics down here, but it can't be good for him. Right now, Carl Edwards, he's giving a signal out the window that indicates he can hear his crew. NASCAR required him to do that. His crew cannot hear from him, though. So right now, Carl's not able to talk back to them, but he'd had to tell NASCAR, at least, I can hear what my crew's telling me.
May have to go old school there with some of the pit signs and do some discussions back and forth. Now, we talked about the favorites today, but let's pick some sleepers here in this field tonight.
I tell you what, I'm going to go with Eric Darnell driving the 6 car. That car has been running good all year long. This is a great break for Eric to drive this thing. I think he'll run good tonight.
Well, we got a guy starting at the back, Scott Wimmer, that's getting an opportunity to drive a really good car for Junior Motorsports right here. Doesn't have a great starting spot, but he is a veteran and he can win a race, and this will be a good place to do it.
What about a rookie back there, Justin Allgaier, in the 12 car? Let's listen into his radio.
I asked him what good getting riled up does anyway.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm not riled up. Not at all. Looking forward to 147 laps tonight. Hey, driver, this is a Picasso tonight. I didn't put it on the dash, but that's what you got to do tonight. A Picasso. You had Da Vinci the other week.
Loud and clear.
Little communication back there with the rookie coming to Darlington for the first time. Well, folks, it rained throughout the middle part of the afternoon. It is a different racetrack than these guys practiced on this morning. How ironic that as we begin Mother's Day weekend, we visit the granddaddy of all NASCAR super speedways, Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Glad to have you with us here as they come 2 by 2 out of turn 4 to the green flag.
We got trouble already here.
Trouble, and that is Keselowski down on the inside, and Legacy misses him. So does Leffler in the 1 car. And we don't even make it 1 turn without a spin and a caution flag.
Well, there's no damage at all on Keselowski's car here. That's a huge break. Don't usually wreck down there and not hit anything.
That could have been real big. I mean, everybody was stacking up behind him. They used pretty good caution. And they were still coming up to speed yet, so they really aren't full song yet.
Very congested at the start heading into turn 1. See if we can see the some contact.
Now, you see, he goes for the bottom of the racetrack, and he gets a little nudge from Jason Leffler. And spins him right around. You know, they're just trying to give and take a little bit, and they just missed it by a little bit.
Andy, it looks like he was just trying to go towards a safe part of the racetrack, get down a little bit, you know, and get that first corner done, but got a little too slow in front of Jason.
Jason's had some contact in front of Keselowski also with Darnell.
Frank, you're going to be okay. Straighten it up, straighten it up, straighten it up. Hold it straight. Caution's out. Come on.
It's really kind of a stack up. You see Kenseth, the teammates there, and Darnell get together, and Keselowski kind of cracks the throttle, and Leffler nowhere to go but just into the back.
Little deja vu for 88 car Brad Keselowski. A year ago, he was involved in a very early spin and came back to log a top 15 finish at Darlington. Under caution in turn 1, lap 1 here at the track. Too tough to take. Getting set for the restart here in the Diamond Hill Plywood 200. Darlington Raceway after a caution in turn 1 on lap 1. The 88 car's been on and off pit road to check those tires. And a chain reaction behind the leaders. A couple of guys pulled down to avoid contact. Stephen Wallace made a nice move. So did Michael McDowell. Nearly had another one there, guys.
Yeah, they'll stack up right there on that restart. You saw one guy just didn't get going good, and it just stacks up behind them. Luckily, no contact, but now they're single file.
And that's what we're going to see a lot here in these restarts, guys. I mean, they really stack up here. They really anticipate what's going to happen. All those guys did a good job not causing another wreck.
How concerned are you, Rusty, as a driver, knowing the track's going to be quite a bit different with all the rain we've had than when you were on the track earlier this morning in the final practice?
Jerry, I'm really concerned about it right now, but the biggest thing I want to do is get some laps under my belt. As you can see this pass, you see at the 16 car in the bottom right now, getting underneath of him.
Yeah,
that's Matt Kenseth.
They're ganging up on Joey Logano just a little bit right here. Joey doing the smart thing is just let these guys go and then start racing the racetrack. Here comes Jeff Burton.
They just got to get a little heat in the tires right now, Jerry. They just need some more laps before they know what this car is going to do. And getting aggressive right off the bat's not the thing to do.
Couple of Toyota teammates there, the 32 of Vickers, former winner here, and Leffler, who was very good in the final practice as well. Those guys battling back for 8th position.
Yeah, you see Leffler did not want to give up those spots because he has a great car. Whoa, got trouble. Bliss around.
Mike Bliss, who was the fastest car in the morning section, loops it around and has a little bit of sheet metal damage on both sides of the rear.
All right, get back, get caught up. Come on, get caught up. Guys, you're going to need 4 tires. You spun pretty hard.
He's going to need a little bit of body work too, boys. Man, that's too bad. Mike Bliss was really fast, like you said, Doc, in practice, and I talked to him down there. He was very confident, man. They have really been on it this last few races, and their cars have been fast. See, he's probably just pushing it a little bit too hard right here underneath Michael McDowell. So he gets loose. Brian Scott gets just in the back of Mike, but he already was loose before that happened.
Oh, man, a look at Steven right behind him there. Whoa, to the left. Oh, great piece of driving right there. I mean, that could have been big.
Come on, don't scare Dad like that.
Right along with Mike Bliss now, and watch as he's trying to get under the 47 for 12 spot.
This is just tough right early in the race here. Trying to force it.
He just dumped it.
You know, it's really hard. You got to race that racetrack early on.
You really do. And like I said earlier, Andy, not enough heat in the tires. They haven't had enough laps to figure out what they're going to do. And when you get that tight, you see him squeezed down. Man, he just lost it, got stacked up, and that's what happens.
The second touch by the 10 car here, just watch him come through and touch him. That spun the 1 all around and sort of helped clear the 66 of Stephen Wallace.
Oh, here's Brian Scott now with the door peeled back. They're going to have to do some work here.
And that's where he spun the 1 car with that second contact.
Yep. It's like a can opener. Got hold of that thing and ripped it right apart. Let's take a look at Bliss's car right here, guys. It looks like he definitely got some damage. I just don't know if it's going to slow the car down much.
He's obviously got to get some tires here, and he's got a little bumper damage, but I think he's going to be okay. Jamie?
Well, you guys can see hanging off the right rear quarter panel, you see the bar sticking out. He told his team, get the saw, cut that off, get the Barabon ready, guys. They need 4 tires. They're going to go ahead and take fuel. Not the way Mike Bliss wanted to start this night off, guys.
2 weeks in a row, Mike Bliss has had a great race car and been the victim of misfortune. Last week at Richmond, he led twice for 62 laps, only to have a problem with the rear end and a suspension failure late in the race. He would have easily had a top 5 finish, and now early on has some damage. But Andy, that looks pretty good for a car at Darlington.
Oh, I'll tell you, they're real lucky they didn't get any more than this, and this is not going to hurt the performance of the car at all. They're just going to have to start over here from the back of the pack and try to just be a little more patient.
Andy, they had a little time to fix his car right now. I've been watching the pace car out there, and they're in pretty good shape. I mean, I would think right now the key thing they need to do is take all the time they can and fix this car really good.
Yeah, because you get one good shot here, you're going to have to give up all the track position anyway. So right now is the time to do it. You don't want to do it later after you've made up 15 or 20 spots and try to, give those back. So it's a good spot, good time to do that.
Here's the 10 car. He was too fast exiting pit road. Brian Scott making his first trip to Darlington, only his 4th ever start in this series. He'll have to come back with a pass-through penalty, and that will probably cost him a lap here as we are getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman, Eric Darnell, and Matt Kenseth, the top 5.
Good clean start.
Yeah, I'll guarantee these guys right now are thinking, let's just get this thing sorted out, guys. Let's quit spinning and crashing.
How about these 2 teammates still racing each other hard with Eric Darnell and Matt Kenseth?
Darnell in the 6th car. Remember, he's splitting that car with David Reagan. Here comes the 20 of Logano now back on the inside of Kenseth, and Jeff Burton and Kenseth come together.
Whoa. 2 veteran drivers getting together right here.
That's the same thing that happened to Mike Bliss. Just pressed the issue and got loose.
These 2 guys know better.
Yeah, they've got 6 wins combined between them here. Michael McDowell picking up where he left off at Richmond. Another great run.
Oh, another contact here.
That's Vickers and Stephen Wallace bouncing off each other.
Come on, guys, settle down.
Looks like Stevens' car's got some damage on their right front here.
Got Legacy almost looking 3 wide. He's already torn up one today in practice.
More on the 29 car of Burton, Mike.
And Rusty, you may have touched on something talking about the tires getting warm enough here. Well, Jeff Burton is trying to manipulate that. He's turned off all his fans in the race car, just trying to get some heat in the tires. Right now, though, he says it's just sliding around.
Yeah, I tell you, you're exactly right, Mike. They just got to get some heat. But what they need to do, really, is just settle down a little bit. That's one of the biggest problems we're having now.
We just joined our coverage. We mentioned there were 14 cars in the last practice section that spun or had contact with the wall.
How about these 2 rookies running for 7th spot right here? Both of these guys have done a great job so far. I don't want to jinx them, you know, this is a long race, but they've done a good job so far this week.
I'll tell you, you saw Joey Logano making a big pass on the inside down the back straightaway. Then you saw that restart of Justin Allgaier on the outside. Shannon, what's going on down there?
Well, guys, right now, Joey Logano not happy with the car. He says it's tight. He says it's pushing like a dump truck in 3 and 4. Not as bad in 1 and 2. Now, this 20 team, they turned 98 laps in both practice sessions today. They've been on the track all day. Dave Rogers said he had to do it. After all, this guy's a rookie.
And Shannon behind him, Justin Allgaier in the 12 car, started back in 16th position. And in 13 laps at probably one of the most difficult tracks to pass, he is battling for 8th spot.
No, he's really, I tell you guys, he really did a good job getting through the gearbox on a restart and taking advantage of some of those slow starts. Justin did a good job on that high lane, but now he's settled in. Slow down, stay away from that wall, use some patience. Dave?
And part of running well here is all about a good attitude, and Justin Allgaier certainly has that. Watching some videotape of his practice earlier today, he commented, I was so scared about this place because of what everyone else said. And after I got out and ran it, I said, man, this is the coolest place I've ever raced.
The 05 car just a moment ago, Casey Atwood headed to the garage area. And the 88 car, by the way, that spun in the lap 1 had gone back to 42nd after making that pit stop. Brad Keselowski has moved all the way up to 25th position. 14 laps in the books here at Darlington, South Carolina. Kyle Busch, a 3-time winner coming off the sweep at Richmond, is our leader. It is Busch, Edwards, Newman, Darnell, and Kenza. The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN and ABC tomorrow night with 2 conference semifinal games. Actions tip off at 5 Eastern on ESPN as Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks look to get back on track at home when they host Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets. Then at 8 Eastern on ABC, MVP LeBron James and the Cavaliers face the Hawks. The NBA playoffs on ESPN, ABC, and also on ESPN360.com tomorrow. 20 laps in here at Darlington Raceway, and Kyle Busch is our leader. Let's check in his pits with Mike.
And Kyle Busch started on the pole, so he is a bit insulated from these early race incidents. Still, after that lap 1 spin by Brad Keselowski, Busch was a little bit critical of the track conditions.
I think NASCAR might ever want to listen, and maybe we could put some rubber up there before we all go wreck each other.
And Kyle says the racetrack still has not come in completely, in particular in the high groove. He's trying to avoid that part of the racetrack because simply there's no more rubber up there.
Tell you what, you just got to lay the rubber down yourself. You can't, and NASCAR's not going to do it for you. They just need to run laps, really understand their car right now, and above all, guys, do not overdrive the car. That wall's not going to move if you hit it.
They will sneak that groove higher and higher. You see the rubber not quite to the wall. They'll take that groove all the way to the wall if they run long enough. But you don't want to be the first guy jumping up there putting that rubber down.
There comes the second place car, Carl Edwards, and we had told you when they rolled off with the green flag he was having radio issues. Dave?
And Doc, he's been able to tell his crew through hand signals that his car is loose in turns 3 and 4. They're not sure if they're going to replace the radio or not because he can communicate with them by hand and they can talk to him on the radio. But if they do want to replace the unit, it's sitting right here, a new radio unit and a harness. Crew Chief Daryl Morrow has it right in front of him. They'll put it in the car if they have significant time during a pit stop. But if they only have quick pit stops, they may not even mess with it.
Randy, Rusty, how blind are you here, not being able to hear your spotter?
Oh, it's something to aggravate the heck out of you. It really will. But, you know, this guy's good enough that he knows when he needs to pit. He knows that now probably if the caution flag comes out again, there are 24 laps in this, he'll hit pit road and automatically put tires on. But you are flying blind.
You see this 38 car right here. He made up some ground on this 6 of Darnell and the 16 car of Matt Kenseth. They kind of got together a little bit and slowed up way up in turn 2, and he just blasted right by him.
Well, just like we talked about in our countdown show with Cale Yarborough, said momentum off these turns, and he really used that little bit of momentum. And you're going to see that a lot. You're going to see it off at turn 4 tonight and off at turn 2.
He certainly has momentum in the series or in the season thus far. 4 top 10 finishes in a row and 6 in the last 7 races. Now back up front, the 18 car of Kyle Busch, starting to lap some cars, including some pretty good cars. We told you that one of the veterans here, Jason Keller, had to go to a backup car, and now that backup car has cost him, Dave.
Jason's going to need a backup motor after the end of tonight. Apparently right now not sounding good. According to the crew, possible motor issue. Crew Chief Todd Gordon told him to keep going, and if we get a caution long enough, well, actually when we get a caution, we'll bring it down pit road, we'll look under the hood, see if it's something simple, and hope it's not something terminal.
Looks like it's something important, though, because that thing's not running on the straightaway at all. You can see right there how much Matt Kenseth just blew by him on the straightaway.
He qualified so well at Bristol 3rd, and then they had engine trouble early on. He finished the race on 5 cylinders. That cost him possibly a top 10 there. So struggles for the South Carolina driver.
Yeah, he's got to hope a caution comes out pretty quick right now so they can get in and work on that thing. There's other cars out there with body damage on them, and they're hoping for a caution too.
Battle for 10th position, the 47, Michael McDowell, had that great top 10 run at Richmond last week, finishing 8th. Behind him, Stephen Wallace, who tied his career best finish here at 5th a year ago.
I see a little damage on that right front fender, Stephen Wallace's car, from that earlier contact.
Let's see if we get a little better camera shot on that. I tell you what, he's got that right front corner bent in pretty good on that car,
yeah,
and that's really causing it.
That's going to hurt the downforce quite a bit.
Yeah, whenever that air dam gets off the ground, it's really going to slow it down. But it looks like the air dam's pretty good underneath the headlight door. But that area right out to the corner, that really kills downforce.
And then on tight all the way around 3 and 4, right 1 and 2. He puts the pressure on you, let him go, we'll fix your car up. I'm bouncing my front down there at 3 and 4 a little bit.
That was some good advice right there. Let's just race the racetrack, let him go, and let us get it fixed. And if we can stay out of another wreck, maybe we can get this thing fixed up to the end of the race.
4th position, the 33 car, by the way, that is the Kevin Harvick incorporated car. The reason it is all black, they did not have a sponsor for this race. They've had other sponsors throughout the year, but the car painted purely black with a white 33. And that's Ryan Newman trying to hold off the challenge of Jason Leffler for 4th.
Leffler's car has been really good the longer he runs. It seems like he's got his car set up for these longer runs, and now he's making up the ground. He's going to take this spot away from Newman, looks like.
I'll tell you what, Andy, it seems like every single week this 38 car just keeps stronger and stronger. And I heard him before the race say the car's been real consistent from week to week, and it's really helped him build some confidence in his driving style and maybe just drive his car a little harder than he's been doing in the past.
Leffler has had 3 consecutive top 10 finishes here at Darlington. Here's the 88 making a move back. He went all the way back to 42nd spot after that spin and pit stop here on lap 1.
He just takes the 16th spot from Scott Speed right here. He's just methodically moving up through there, patiently working his way up and racing the racetrack, doing a good job.
You know, the thing I like right now, what I'm seeing, I don't see the guys really bunched up real tight. And when that happens, they can race this track and they can just put laps down instead of really driving over their head and getting in that wall. They're doing a great job out there right now.
32 laps in of 147 at Darlington, South Carolina. Kyle Busch has led them all since the drop of the green flag. We've had 2 cautions for 4 laps. It is Busch and Edwards, the top 2.
The Diamond Hill Plywood 200 at Darlington Raceway, South Carolina for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you are looking at the fight for the lead. Kyle Busch in the 18 has led all of those 38 laps so far, but his championship rivals, his rival in the race tonight, that's Carl Edwards you're riding with.
Carl Edwards is staying right in his racetracks, and we heard Carl in the pre-race interview talk about trying to get through the first part of this race, unlike he did last year where he blew a right front tire and had some problems, and it cost him a championship, he does believe. He's doing doing a good job.
Remember that Carl can hear his crew and his spotter, but they cannot hear him as far as making adjustments on this car. And here he goes, looking for the lead in turn 3. Wow, Kyle almost got tangled up with that lap car.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, Carl's obviously got a super fast race car. Kyle Busch, both of these two guys are the cream of the crop right now. You see Kyle's got his hand out the window gesturing towards the car that got into him a little bit there. But Carl's got a great race car, and he's going to lead some laps here and get those points.
Just remember this in case this turns out to be a trend later, too. Short run, long run. Kyle good in the get-go. Longer we run in this green flag run. Carl is out front as they're into some pretty heavy lap traffic.
Yep.
Let's check out this lead change once more. Down into turn 3 again with the lap car playing a role.
Yeah, you see Carl gets deep into that corner. Boy, look at that, man. You hardly ever see anyone run over Kyle Busch. He's usually doing the pushing.
Yeah. That's Brian Scott in the 10 car. Obviously not expecting Kyle to slow as much as he did, but Kyle trying to give Carl leeway.
Got these two guys trying to operate through traffic here. Looks like it's going to get interesting.
A little farther back, checking out one of the guys making his Darlington debut in the Nationwide Series. Shannon Eric Darnell in that 6 is running 6th.
Yeah, that's right. That's where he's been the entire race, Alan. This is only his second start on an oval. Caution on the racetrack. We'll get back to that story.
Thanks, Shannon. Caution on the racetrack here for the 3rd time, lap 42. And we will see pit stops this time. We're fairly close to their first pit window. And there's a leader, Carl Edwards. And yes, for the first time in his career, Carl Edwards has now led a lap in nationwide competition at Darlington. In 4 previous trips here, he had not led a single lap.
Guy that's led a lot of laps here, though, Jeff Burton. He got a little damage to the front of his car. This is going to be a good break for him to get that fixed, to get in here and get some tires.
Yeah, I tell you, there's a couple guys need some work. You talk about the 29 car. You see damage on that one. We saw that a little while ago. And also the radio problem with Carl Edwards. I wonder now if they're going to throw him another radio, and he can actually change it inside the car.
If you're wondering why we are under caution here at Darlington, we've had some cars bounce off the wall and some sheet metal being sheared and pulled and tugged. And there was debris on the racetrack, and the assumption is it might have come off the 42 car of Kenny Hendrick.
Yeah, he's got some damage right here. His tie-dyed car paint scheme getting a little scuffed up on the right side.
Oh, he's got the Darlington stripe. Now, I don't know if he's ever had one of those before, but
how does that go with tie-dyed?
Well,
stripes.
Well, now you're.
Is that a glamour don't?
I think he's in the club now, though.
All right, crew chief, pretty good asphalt, still good grip here. What do you do first off?
We're going to get 4 tires right here, Doc, for sure. Get some fuel, make some adjustments. That's the key thing. A lot of these guys have gotten tight and going to free up some of these things. Have a new race here when we get going again.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought some of the guys got body damage and need to take the time right now, fix it, and the guys up front just keep doing what they've been doing, because it looks like the track is not changing much to me.
Remember, this is a curved pit road here at Darlington. There's quite a curve coming off of turn 4. As they come down pit road, let's go down to our Toyo Tires triple pits. Jamie.
And Matt Kenseth has gained 3 positions already in the start of this race. You see him pitting right there just on that turn you were talking about, Doc. He said he's just a little tight coming off at 4, a little loose going into 2. Air pressure adjustment, 4 tires for the 16. Dave?
The crew received a garbled transmission from the race leader. Too loose at the beginning of the run. Only in turns 3 and 4. They confirmed with a yes and a hand gesture. They'll take on 4 tires as he slides into his pit. Sunoco, fuel, air pressure, and track bar adjustment for Carl Edwards. Mike.
Kyle Busch pretty content with his race cars, just saying a little bit tight off 3 and 4. They're going to go up a half a round on the track bar, make an air pressure adjustment, and a 4-tire change on the 18 car. They've completed service on the right side, have gone to work on the left side, a clean stop for the 18, and he's away, retaining the lead.
Critical race off pit road, and Kyle Busch will get the spot. With Carl Edwards losing it, Jeff Burton's crew, the Hog of the N-Buns, doing a nice job gaining him a couple positions. And there's the race off, very close, but Kyle gets it over Carl. Swing away with with ESPN for 2 nights of Major League Baseball action. First at 8 Eastern on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. The Tampa Bay Rays visit Fenway Park for another battle against Dustin Pedroia and the Red Sox. Then catch Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern as the Atlanta Braves take on their divisional rivals, the Mets. Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN 360 Sunday and Monday night. We documented that Jason Keller was having an engine that was sputtering, and he had come on the pit road a moment ago to raise the hood and take a look. Let's listen to John Reese.
Get it on, get it on. Plug wire. No, it just come out. It's not broke, it just come out.
Well, that's the best thing that can happen, I guess, if you raise the hood. Andy's a crew chief, finally just put a plug wire on and fix the problem.
Yeah, that does fix it, but you still don't like these kind of details getting in the way of having a good run. But at least the car is running up to full song now. He's got a lot of work to do to try to make up for it.
Showing a lap down back in 33rd position, I should say. Back to green flag racing. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Kenseth, Leffler, Darnell. Remember, it was Kyle Busch that beat Carl off of pit road. Carl had been the leader when the caution came out.
Now, we know Kyle Busch just did not practice the entire practice. He kind of quit early, and we got him really stacking up off turn 2. But it might hurt him just a little bit. They're going to have to probably make some adjustments to his car as they go, because it looked like he was getting beat in that long run.
Yeah, he's definitely have to work in that car a little bit, but right now they're pretty happy.
Yeah, Michael Annett struggling just a little bit on this restart. You see Keselowski going by Annett on the inside. Michael Annett's already had to go to a backup car. This is his first time at Darlington. He's getting a good education so far.
I talked to Michael today. I said, Michael, what do you think of this racetrack? He said, right now, I hate it. But he's going to have to love it if he's going to finish this race.
As long as he keeps making laps, this will be a good experience for him. Here comes Scott Wimmer in the 5 car now, looking inside Brian Keselowski.
Tell you, Scott's another guy early in practice today, Andy. Got in the wall pretty hard, got the Darlington stripe, but a lot of stripe down the side. Those guys have cleaned that car up and made it look real good, but it didn't look that good today.
Oh, Townley is around.
There's the 09. We were just talking about John West Townley, another one of the rookie drivers who struggled and missed the show at Richmond last week and spent a lot of time looking at old film on how to get around Darlington. But this is his first trip to the Lady in Black.
What does that old say Mark Martin said? Cautious breed cautions.
Yeah, but you know,
got them all bunched back up here again, and now we've got another one.
When you and I are talking at the end of a race, I always tell you, cautions breed cautions, and it's like 15 laps to go. It's going to happen, but I don't expect it this early.
Show you what happened to the rookie.
Oh, Mike Bliss gets just a little bit on the inside of Townley and gets him loose right in front of a bunch of cars.
So he really didn't do anything wrong. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. And there's the contact from behind by the veteran Bliss.
And now he's going the wrong way.
John West Townley does 360 and brings out the yellow. Working caution for the 4th time out here in the Diamond Hill Plywood 200. We might mention that the 60 car, Carl Edwards, did not get a new radio on that pit stop a moment ago. So why don't we explain what's going on there? For more on driver communications, let's go down to our Craftsman Tech Garage and Tim Brewer.
Thanks, Jerry. Folks, all the cars that run in Nationwide Series has actually 2 radios on board, and the driver has a switch right here by the door panel. He can run radio 1 or radio 2. But when it comes back, when you get a little bit of water down in that area on that wiring, it might short out just a little bit. But with the heat in the car, you'd think that it would dry out. But there again, the humidity the way it is tonight, you know, the guys at Racing Electronics are pretty good. But there again, hopefully those problems will go away.
Thank you, Tim. And again, he could hear his spotter and crew. They just could not hear him. Under this caution, the 87 car. Joe Nemechek is our Aaron's lucky dog, free pass winner. He was the first car lap down. And now we'll get back on the lead lap, giving us now 21 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch leading him down to the green flag. Matt Kenseth now has gone around his teammate Carl Edwards and has taken the 2nd spot away.
Yeah, and all the action there we kind of missed. Whoa, look, talk about action. Look at this. Kenseth getting very aggressive here on this lap car.
Looks like Matt tried to shoot to the bottom of the racetrack, and the 10 car, Brian Scott, come down and blocked him off, and hey, that wasn't going to work. You know, this tire is so hard out there right now. I've talked to some of the drivers, and they said we just got to get a little time on them. A lot of guys tell me if they put a sticker tire, a brand new tire, it'll slide all over the racetrack.
You know, one thing that happens though is these cars will run really fast on the short runs. Are usually the cars that are tight. See, Carl Edwards struggling a little bit here. That could pay off if this turns out to be a long run, and they start building air and heat in that right front tire. He might be able to come back on these guys.
38 car just blew by the 60. Jamie.
Well, he's had a great night so far. We're talking about Jason Leffler. When that last caution came out, though, he said, guys, I've got a vibration. I think it may be from the sticker tires. Now, Rusty, my question to you is we've heard so much about scuffing tires, how important that is, but Jason Leffler opted to take stickers. What is the difference?
Well, I tell you what, Jamie, when you put stickers on, most of the drivers are saying that the sticker tires, when they're new, for about the first 5 laps, just do not have any grip. I mean, the grip is terrible. So that's one problem. But vibration, I've never seen a new tire vibrate or an old tire vibrate unless it's loose.
Loose. That's exactly what I'm thinking. When I heard that, I'm thinking that's not tires, that's wheels. And I would worry about those wheels being loose, one of them anyway. Boy, Kenny Hendrick is still struggling up against the wall. He has wore the right side of that car out. Now he's just trying to find a hole to get to the bottom.
Yeah, this race very emotional for this team. They had the tie-dye paint job was to be able to draw attention to legendary bluegrass singer Barney Barnwell, who's battling cancer. And this car was supposed to be at Barney's Ranch for a big function tomorrow, but they are struggling here with it tonight.
Well, they're still rolling the trailers right now. If he'll take care of it, he's got to get in here and get some tires. Got Jeff Burton now. He's moved up into the top 5, or actually 6 right now. But here Justin Allgaier is still working on him. I just makes me wonder whether Burton still got some damage from that earlier contact.
Yeah, it looked like he had about the right front fender. The top portion earlier was caved in a little bit. Looks like they got it out right now. Looks like the fender's okay, but I'll tell you, Justin's having an outstanding day right now. I mean, this car's running really good.
29 car of Burton, the 4-time winner here, has been so good at everything he runs here. Mike?
Yeah, Doc, the 29 team took a real close look at that fender on the last pit stop. They pulled it out a little bit, didn't think it was rubbing up against the tire. Their biggest concern, though, restarts. Jeff radioing in saying that it takes a little while for this car to get wound up, and they're a little bit slow on restarts, but once they get a few laps underneath them, they're good to go, Dave.
Mike, to help that 12-car turn, crew chief Chad Walter increased the air pressure in the right rear of that car. That should help him just a little bit. And Justin got his stripe earlier today, and it was after that he really clicked at this place. And I think it sometimes helps to take a little bit of the wall, just a touch, to get yourself used to it.
Done a great job so far. Look here, he's working inside of Jeff Burton, and Jeff Burton is one of the best that's ever run here. I'm thoroughly impressed with what Allgaier's done all year, but especially tonight.
Someone forgot to tell this rookie that rookies don't run well in a track like Darlington, South Carolina, but he is certainly doing a heck of a job from 16th starting spot and right in the tire tracks of the 4-time winner Burton.
You still can't let your guard down, though, and his crew chief Chad Walter knows that. I'm sure he's talking to him and reminding him to race the racetrack.
That's just exactly what I was going to say, Andy, because right now he's running so good, he's just feeling comfortable right now. He can't get sucked into driving that car too hard and sliding up in the corners and knocking the right side off that thing by hitting the wall. He's got a good car. Don't overdrive it right now.
We are 12 laps away from halfway here in Darlington, South Carolina. We've had 4 cautions for 12 laps, 3 leaders, 3 lead changes, and Kyle Busch has led twice for 55 of the 61 laps.
NASCAR Nationwide Series with its once-a-year stop at Darlington, South Carolina. It's been pretty action-packed right from the beginning of practice this morning. Turn 1, lap 1 of the race. And right on through 4 caution flags now. And we're not even yet to halfway. And you figure we've probably got quite a few more still to go in tonight's running of the Diamond Hill Plywood 200. Kyle Busch led the first 39 laps from the pole, and Carl Edwards went by him for 5 laps. On a set of pit stops, Kyle went back out in front, and now he's extended his advantage to 2.5 seconds over the new second-place runner, Matt Kenseth. Time for our Nationwide Insurance Up to Speed. Mike, how about an update on the leader?
Yeah, how about him? We all know about his insatiable appetite for success and winning, so consider this. It kind of gives us a glimmer of how excited he was about getting in this car tonight. After practice today, with which they quit early, Jason Ratcliffe, his crew chief, asked him, is there anything we can do to find a little bit more speed? Kyle's answer was, no, we're real good. You rarely hear that from Kyle Busch. He was satisfied coming into this race, and as he pulls away, we can understand why, Jamie.
And Mike, right behind Kyle is Matt Kenseth. He's working his way forward. Remember, he's won here twice. He almost won last year when they had to pit for a loose wheel. Now his Cup crew chief, Drew Blickensderfer, has been over here talking to Eddie Pardue, his crew chief, and it seems to be working. Last pit stop was good, and Matt is happy with the car. Right behind him, Jason Leffler. Now, you guys, we reported that he was wondering if it was the tires. Well, now he is thinking it is the wheel. A loose wheel is what the 38 believes is happening, although his lap times remain consistent. We'll keep an eye on it. Shannon?
Jamie, running right now in fourth is Eric Darnell in that number 6 car. Now, this is Darnell's very first start at this racetrack, and because of that, he spent most of the practice shadowing his teammate Carl Edwards in that 60 car. He watched his line, followed him, then switched places, and Carl followed behind him. Carl and then Eric got out of the car, and Carl said, good job, man, you're doing a great job. Eric said it was great for his confidence. Dave?
Shannon, good thing he wasn't shadowing his radio. That thing still doesn't work right now for Carl Edwards, and they don't know if the car is really loose or just a little bit loose. They do know that it's free on new tires. They put on stickers, the unscuffed kind, and the car will not handle right now. Mike?
Well, Dave, Jeff Burton has a combined 6 victories here in Darlington, 2 Cup, 4 Nationwide, so you know he understands what this track is capable of, which may lead to the explanation why he quit practice early today. He said it was just too treacherous out there. Too many guys were hitting the wall, and he felt like he would be one of them if he kept up with it. He's been pretty good out there so far, Dave.
Mike, Justin Allgaier's crew chief said his heart rate must have been about 250 today. I had to calm him down. Justin told me he'd be relying on his spotter to do that tonight, and so far he's remained calm and remains in the top 10.
So those are the front 7. There's Brian Vickers in 8th position in that 32 car. And rounding out the top 10, Ryan Newman and Brad Keselowski with a nice run after dropping as far back as 42nd in that turn 1, lap 1 crash. There's on board with Brad running in now the top 10. All Kyle Busch so far as we are halfway through tonight's 200-miler at Darlington, South Carolina.
Playoffs continue on ESPN and ABC tomorrow night with 2 conference semifinal games. Action tips off at 5 Eastern on ESPN as the Mavericks look to get back on track at home against the Denver Nuggets. Then at 8 o'clock Eastern time on ABC, LeBron James, the MVP, and the Cavaliers face the Hawks. The Cavs lead the series 2-0. The NBA playoffs on ESPN, ABC, and also on ESPN360.com coming your way tomorrow. Back in Darlington, South Carolina, we are past the halfway point. Kyle Busch, the leader, Kenseth in 2nd, Leffler's 3rd, Eric Darnell 4th, and Carl Edwards, who was the leader, is now moved all the way back to 5th position. Now, we had lots of rain today, and as you heard, Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech-a-Ride said, show you that that radio can get water in it, and it went away, but it sounds like it might be coming back.
Just starting to tighten up 3 and 4. That's just good at 3 and 4 now. Loose for a long time. 4, copy.
Boy, it's real critical right there that they were getting some of that information, because all they can see is Carl Edwards falling back. They have no idea why unless they can hear from him. There's other ways that you can communicate that with some hand signals, but it's very difficult to know how to work on this thing unless you can hear firsthand from the driver.
Yeah, when Carl Edwards was explaining some things and the team came back and said copy, Carl probably went, oh, loving it, baby. I mean, I finally can communicate with these guys.
We showed you the top 10. Carl Edwards being shown in 5th position. Why don't we go from 11th on back, show you some of the other cars in the lead lap. Here is Joey Logano, his first trip to Darlington, South Carolina, being shown in 11th spot and battling a little bit of handling issues.
Yeah, he's just struggling just a little bit, but he's still running 11th, and the car looks clean, so he's doing a good job.
Yeah, that's the key thing right now. It's just staying out of trouble. He's doing a good. Take a look at Mike Bliss here. Had some damage early. Looks like he's come back, guys. Doing a good job right now.
Yeah, he got into some trouble, like you said, early on, but now he's staying out of it, and that damage on the back didn't really hurt him at all.
Michael McDowell, who last week got that top 10 finish. Great run for the 47 car. Third time this year he's been the highest finishing rookie. McDowell now running in the top 15 in 13th spot.
Yeah, but if he'll look in his mirror, he'll see my sleeper. Scott Wimmer started pretty far back, but he's doing a good job just moving his way up through there just like a veteran that he is.
Well, he's hit that wall early. He doesn't want to hit that thing again, so he's doing a good job driving that thing right now.
Wimmer started back in 27th position. Now behind him is the car that was sort of ran in the middle of the pack here all last year, but in the final 30 or 40 laps really came on strong. Talking about the 66 car of Stephen Wallace, who had a 5th place finish here a year ago.
Yeah, he's right behind his brother Kenny. Kenny's a lap down, but Stephen's still, still trying to get some good laps out of this thing, even with the damage on the right front.
Behind Stephen Wallace is Scott Speed in the 99 car, the Michael Waltrip Racing Toyota. And Scott showing in 16th position. And the last car, guys, on the lead lap, another rookie driver in the 11 car.
Scott Legacy Jr., he had a little incident in practice. Knocked the back end of the car around a little bit, but here he is now running real well. He's got a little damage on his left front fender.
And boy, that's the last thing you want to see in your mirror. There's a leader right now. Kyle Busch running him down. And he's just hoping for a caution right now, else get the lucky dog, something like that.
Well, that's the guys on the lead lap. There are 16 of them. Kyle Busch, our leader, and we come back, we'll be talking about planned pit stops here in Darlington. Lap 92 here in Darlington, South Carolina, and we are under caution for the 5th time tonight. Caution flag waving. We were just about 3 or 4 laps away from green flag stops. Here's why the caution flag came out. Contact, body slam, the 52 car up into the wall, Kevin LePage.
Yeah, it looks like Stephen Wallace may have got a piece of that too. Brian Scott's been pretty aggressive tonight.
Oh, Brian Scott's been real aggressive. And that 52, he had no idea that was coming, that's for sure. I mean, he just run his own line and all of a sudden, wham, I'm in the wall. You can't get aggressive at this racetrack, guys. You just got to calm down a little bit, be patient. But 50 laps to go, Jerry.
Yeah, I think
probably no pit stops. That's hard to do, isn't it?
This could be critical right here, Andy.
Yeah, they could possibly make it to the end of the race. 55 laps to go. They're on pit road, possibly making that last pit stop.
Let's go down to our Toyo Tires triple pit stops. Jamie.
Jason Leffler in the 38 hasn't said anything about the vibration in about 20 laps. They're going to change those tires, put some scuffs on, get a tear off the windshield there, and get him back in action. He was 3rd coming in. Shannon?
Jamie, Eric Donnell making only his 2nd start on an oval, says the car is just getting a little bit tight. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for that number 6 car. Dave?
Carl Edwards fell back to 5th on that run. He said it was way too loose at the beginning. Another track bar and air pressure adjustment. It took the whole run for it to tighten up. That's his complaint. Mike?
Kyle Busch saying the car is getting a little bit tight in the right rear tire, a little bit edgy. They're going to try to correct that with a very small air pressure adjustment, just about a 1/4 pound, a quick stop. He's away ahead of everybody else.
Thanks, Mike. And Kyle Busch will retain the lead. Eric Darnell up a couple of spots. Carl Edwards likewise. You see the losers there. +4 for Scott Wimmer and the Dale Earnhardt team. And there's the rookie Darnell, and there's a gas can on the ground. We invite you to swing away with ESPN for 2 nights of Major League Baseball action. First at 8 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. The Tampa Bay Rays visit Fenway Park for a battle against the Red Sox. Then catch Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern as the Atlanta Braves take on their divisional rivals, the Mets. Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN 360 Sunday and Monday nights. Lots of action under a full moon here in Darlington, South Carolina, and Scott Lagacy, the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass winner under this 5th caution flag. He will get back on the lead lap now, giving us 17 cars on the lead lap. Now a great pit stop for the 5 car, gaining 4 spots. Shannon.
Doc, 13.7 seconds. This 5 team is pumped down here. They made a wedge adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. They got Scott Wimmer 4 additional spots. Andy picked him, and he's looking good.
Oh, you got to don't make his head any bigger than it already is. You're right, Andy. Petrie picks him as the sleeper. Let's see what's going to happen. 52 laps to go. Kyle Busch leads him down, and we got a rookie running second.
And what a job Eric Darnell's done here tonight. Double file through 1 and 2. We know how treacherous that is, Rustin.
Oh, boy, they're getting stacked up right now. They're running. Whoa! Take a look at that one car just sideways right there.
I'm holding my breath.
I'm holding my breath, too, right?
They made it.
Yeah. It's not over yet.
Oh, we got another corner to go here. Here we go.
We've got to get through turn 3 right now.
Oh, and Leffler gets a little bit of tap.
Brad Keselowski looks like he's up in the wall. Coming off of turn 4, he got in the wall a little bit, too.
Stay up against the wall here. Stay up
Yeah,
against
I think
the wall.
this was just a chain reaction from what we saw, that contact with Leffler.
You know, it doesn't look like I see any damage on the right side, Andy. It looks like he might have.
Yeah, he's got something wrong, though.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
There's a problem with that car.
May have a flat tire right here. Oh, yeah, there he goes.
There it goes.
And he will spin it around and bring out the caution if he can keep it off the inside wall.
Watch that wall there. Caution's out.
Okay, caution is out here. Okay, the key thing about this caution now is a lot of these guys are going to get some laps under caution to stretch that fuel. And they're going to, a lot of guys are right on the edge of making it.
Not drivable. It had a flat.
Andy, as crazy as that sounds, that right rear tire did not look flat on that car. Maybe that inner line was holding that thing up.
Yeah, it wasn't obviously flat, but boy, she went around.
Let's take a look at that right rear right now. I didn't see it down. It still looks like it's up.
Yeah, it probably is down on the liner. Yeah, it's down on the liner.
You know what? The track bar looks like it's loose in that car. We'll have to take a look at this again. Looks like there's a couple things going on with this, a couple issues.
He went sailing into turn 3 in 7th position and then suddenly started dropping back up in turn 4 as they went by him 2 by 2 by 2. And yeah, you're right. I think the right rear tire is down.
This is a quickie yellow. That means anybody can pit that wants to.
6 caution flag tonight. Brad Keselowski spins and brings it down pit road. The others under caution will stay on the racetrack. We'll come back with a green in just a moment. "47 laps remaining here in the Diamond Hill Plywood 200 NASCAR Nationwide Series race. We are under caution for the 6th time tonight. The 88 car is spinning, coming on pit road for a tire change. We'll update exactly what happened with this guy, Brad Keselowski, in just a moment. And by the way, the leading Rookie of the Year candidate, Michael McDowell, who was running 12, his car just coasted into the garage area without any power. He was on the lead lap. We'll update what's going on with the 47 car here in just a moment. Getting set for the green flag. Kyle Busch, Eric Darnell, the rookie, Carl Edwards, Kenseth, and Leffler, the top 5.
See how much Leffler's got, right? Or Keller's got on the inside right here. Jason Keller had problems earlier with his plug wire. Looks like it's running a whole lot better. Have a chance to get this lap back.
Yeah, and that's a backup car for Jason Keller also, so probably got a handle better right now. He's trying to get that lucky dog.
Kyle Busch pulls away, and you cannot say enough about that rookie running in 2nd spot, Eric Darnell.
Eric Darnell has had some experience on this racetrack. If you remember the gong shows that Roush had, one of the final rounds was at this racetrack where Eric Darnell excelled and actually won the competition here. So he's got some laps here. A lot of confidence, too.
In that gong show, the top 3 at the end of that gong show were David Reagan, Eric Darnell, and Danny O'Quinn, all of which Roush ended up hiring to be his drivers. And right before the restart, this is what they said to Eric Darnell.
All right, man. This is what you always wanted right here. You and the big boys.
I tell you what, Andy, my old sleeper's looking pretty good right now, buddy.
Yeah,
how's yours
boy,
looking?
He is. You know what? It ain't over, though. My guy's still coming.
And our luck's really not too good. So
that's why we're talking about it now. We usually don't talk about it.
That's right.
Here's a battle for 10th position. Not long because Ryan Newman goes sailing by Joey Logano. More on Logano. Shannon.
Well, Doc, I told you at the beginning of the race how the car was plowing and very tight. It has not gotten any better, and they've been taking huge whacks at it on pit road. They've made wedge adjustment, track bar, air pressure, everything. Joey's saying he thinks something might be broke on the car because he says it feels nothing like it felt in practice. They're very confused as to what's going on with that 20 car right now.
They keep running side by side. There's sure enough going to be something broke on it.
Yeah, we saw a couple
finally
cars.
got it sorted out.
Who did we see today? We saw Jeff Burton in a race side by side.
Jeff Burton get
yeah.
together.
You do not want to run side by side, especially coming off of turn 4. Makes that car really loose.
Couple of cars sliding up off the corner there, and Stephen Wallace did a nice job to avoid that machine there right up against the wall. The 20 car.
Yeah, it looks like Stevens got the right front fender fixed a lot better right now, starting to come to the field. All the way up into 13th position now. Everything's looking good at the moment.
Drivers earlier today were talking about the great grip levels here at Darlington because this asphalt's only a year old. He said the one groove is really good. The second groove is about the width of a sidewalk.
Yeah, and if you just joined the broadcast, I mean, this racetrack is about 60 foot wide. And oh, it's a little tight.
A couple of your cars stuffed in there, too.
Yeah. Made me nervous. Made me quit talking, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but I started to say, if you're just joining the broadcast, this racetrack's about 60 foot wide. And I don't know why, but the groove is dead on top of the wall. And I do know why. It's the way this track is shaped. It makes the groove on the very top run faster. But, boy, there's not much room for error.
Oh, here goes Keselowski around again.
There's Brad Keselowski sideways and spins it around.
Michael Annett going around, and he catches the wall.
And almost got the front end of the 88 car. Keselowski
actually did. Got a little contact on the front, but Keselowski's car looks fine. Again, he's made another spin here without a lot of damage.
The unlucky 7th caution flag of the night.
Yeah, that's 2 times in a row, and he's not tore that car up, and that is an amazing job, either closing your eyes or holding on or driving good.
But Michael Annett definitely has some damage here he's going to have to work on.
Yeah, and this is his second car right now. He wiped a car out in practice today. This one here is wiped out too.
It's just like we were talking about, running side by side underneath that 11 car. Scott Legacy looked like Keselowski was, and then all these cars stacked up behind him. It's a real tough break for Annett because he was just trying to make laps.
88 car inside the rookie Legacy, pinches it down, and around he goes for the second consecutive caution flag for the 88 of Brad Keselowski. Back with the green in just a moment.
Under caution at Darlington, the NASCAR Nationwide Series 200-miler tonight, down to its concluding laps. 28 to go now. Kyle Busch leading. There's no surprise. But the young man in second would be a surprise. Eric Darnell, in only his 3rd Nationwide Series start for Roush Fenway Racing, doing a great job. Shannon, I think they're probably pretty proud of him down there.
Well, you might be surprised, but I don't think Mike Kelly's surprised by this run. Tell me, what does this young driver have to do in order to get a victory here and pass that 18 car?
I just got to continue doing what he's been doing all night. He's staying smart, keeping the car under, more race these guys at the end. I can't say enough about Eric Darnell and the Northern Tool 4 tonight, and the car the guys prepared for him today. But he knows what he's got ahead of him, and he knows it's going to be a tough challenge, but I think he's up for it for sure.
All right, Alan, this is the team that went to victory lane with David Reagan behind the wheel just back at Talladega.
A couple of races ago for that one. Darnell, a 26-year-old Illinois native, and he's been impressive tonight.
He really has. I spent some time with him last night. He said, Brad, I've got to have a good showing here. This is the last time I'm going to be in this car for about a month. I want to leave a lasting impression here at Darlington, and he is doing that.
Well, with the exception of Carl Edwards for about 5 laps early in the race, nobody's been able to do anything with Kyle Busch all night. He's been out in front for all but 6 laps in the event. And as they take this green flag for the restart, there will be 27 to go. Darnell and his Roush Fenway teammate Matt Kenseth are the guys chasing Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch has never won a NASCAR Nationwide Series race here in Darlington. Trying to get it done. He won the Cup race here last spring, becoming the youngest Cup winner at the age of 23 years and 8 days. Can he get a nationwide win here just a week after his 24th birthday?
Putting a pounding on him so far. Matt Kenseth now starting to reel in that 6 car of Darnell, put a little pressure on him right here.
Hey, you really got to handle the Darnell, though. I mean, just like the crew chief said, he's doing a great job. And what about a guy that's hardly ever been here before running this good? But it really goes to show you how good that team really is. David Reagan did a good job, too, in that car.
Speaking of team, look at these guys. They're all 3 teammates running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
They're probably telling Kyle Busch, who's behind you? They're all 3 of the Roush guys, and they want to get you, buddy, so you better step it up.
We were talking about the rookie driver, Eric Darnell. What about our Verizon Wireless Ask the Analyst question? And our question comes from Fernando in West Hempstead, New York. And Andy, what's it like for a crew chief of a rookie driver at a dangerous track like this?
It's tough, but this guy's doing a great job, Darnell is, but you really need to talk to your driver a lot. When you have a rookie at this racetrack, you got to keep reminding him lap after lap after lap. Race the racetrack, race the racetrack. Don't let your guard down. Dude, you're doing a good job so far. Let's bring it home now. We've only got 24 laps to go. Just keep this thing straight. You bring it home in second, it'd be a great finish.
And if you want to provide us with an Ask the Analyst question, you can text your question to 8610 from your Verizon wireless phone. Standard text rate supply, or go online to ESPN.com to submit your question.
I'll tell you what, Andy, that's be patient and go fast, though, right?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do. The main thing is these young guys, you really just have to hold them back. They want to go, 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 so you just got to kind of hold them back a little.
Jack Roush's cars running second, third, and fourth, and Roush a 14-time winner here as an owner in NASCAR Nationwide Series competition. Wow, I mean, how dominant has that one owner been in a racetrack like this?
Yeah, he's done a great job. Mark Martin winning so many races. I remember back in the day, he couldn't be beat hardly anywhere, especially here.
Well, one thing I like, when I look at these cars sitting down in the garage area, the bodies on them, they all look identical. You can see there's consistency, and they're talking. And you know what? They're talking to each other. But you know what? This guy right here, Jack Roush, I don't think he'd have it either way. He wants these guys to work together. Jamie, they're looking pretty good right now.
They really are. I was in the 16 pit, and Drew Blickenster for the Cup crew chief for Matt Kenseth was there, and he told me this is one of those tracks, when we come to it, Jack Roush expects us to win. There's extra pressure. Here in California, no excuses. We must be in victory lane. It explains it, guys, running second through fourth.
Inside of 25 to go. It'll be 20 to go next time by. Kyle Busch has led twice for 120 laps. Could he get win number 4 on the season, his 25th career win? How about win number 51 in NASCAR? We're going to find out when we come back for the final laps at Darlington in just a moment. Just 15 laps remaining here in Darlington, South Carolina. Mother's Day weekend, and Kyle Busch is just putting a whipping on the field here, pulling away now by 1.1 seconds over impressive rookie Eric Darnell in second spot. Matt Kenseth is third, Leffler is fourth, and the guy that everyone thought might have a factor tonight and be a potent force in this championship race, Carl Edwards, really struggling in that 60 car. Now, a moment ago, we listened to some radio communications from Dan Stillman, the crew chief for Carl Edwards.
Something's wrong here. Just be ready, Dan. He might have something here. I don't think so. Looks all right. Just be ready. Might be a tire. Or get ready, everybody. Get ready.
Yeah, something goofy went on there for a lap or two. Edwards lost some ground, but now it seems like the car's back up to speed.
Right side of your screen now, Matt Kenseth has gone around his teammate Darnell and is setting his sights on Kyle Busch. And right now, Busch's margin is about a little over a second and a half.
Well, he's got 13 laps to get it done, and he's making some ground right here. It looks like Kenseth's got a good car in the long run.
Yeah, we'll see this next time by. We'll take a look at our timing and scoring and see how fast he's really running. He's been working really hard on the back of Darnell to get around him. Now he's got around him. Let's see what we got.
You also have lap traffic that's going to be a factor in the end of this race, and it's so hard to pass here. All but single file. So the leader catches this traffic at the wrong spot. It can really pay off for the guy running second.
Oh, absolutely, because we talked earlier about momentum. If he can keep that momentum wound up, and if Kyle Busch has got to get out of the throttle to pass some cars, that's going to let Kenseth run him right down.
Kyle now moving in on some other traffic, and Kenseth is just bearing down.
Yeah, he's definitely bearing down. He beat Kyle Busch by almost 0.2 of a second the last lap.
Yeah, he's got him in his gun sights right now, and that Ford is just flying right now for Kenseth. He knows he's running out of time. 11 to go.
And Kyle Busch knows he has to be flawless through this traffic because Kenseth is coming.
Seventh place battle, the one car of Bliss and Ryan Newman. Hadn't heard much from Ryan. He's been running mostly in the top 10 tonight, now trying to charge up and maybe get a top 5 finish.
They've been struggling just a little bit somewhere. Looks like the car's been running pretty good. What's going on down there, Dave?
Well, Andy, it's been tight all night. That's been the handling condition they've been fighting, but he's pitted twice, and they lost spots on pit road both times. He fell back to as far as 12, so he's really passed a lot of guys, but then he lost some of those spots on pit road.
Ryan Newman will drive the 5 car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Dover, one of the 6 events he will run there. He's driving for Kevin Harvick tonight. The same car, by the way, he finished second with at Talladega just a couple of weeks ago. You said, Andy, that traffic could be a factor for the 18 car, and he is losing some time now trying to tiptoe around some of these cars.
Yeah, he does a good job right here getting by this 24. Now he's got some clear traffic, but he lost a little bit. But then Kenseth caught some of that traffic also, and it cost him a little bit of ground.
Yeah, see, that's the deal. He's got the clean track right now, Kyle Busch does. Now Matt Kenseth is going to have to put up with this same problem. He doesn't want to catch him in the center of the corner, and that's what he just did. Now that's going to hurt him right there.
The 2 teams this year that have won more than one race, the 18 car of Kyle Busch has won 3 times, and the 16 car has won twice with Greg Biffle aboard. Now 3 wide. There goes Carl Edwards on the inside of Leffler and Darnell.
Oh, man, that was unreal. Edwards just picked him away right through that. But, guys, he knows there's only 7 laps to go, and he's got to run every lap like it's a qualifying lap.
So does Leffler. He knows there's 7 laps to go. He's coming right back inside of Edwards.
Still got a hand to Eric Darnell. I mean, what a great job this kid's done all night. Running 5th right now. It's about 6 laps to go. If he can have a top 5 finish, he's really going to feel good about this run, and Jack Roush will too.
Darnell, we mentioned his only oval track start last week at Richmond, where he finished 12th. He ran once on the road course in Mexico City a year ago. And as you heard Brad Doherty say when he talked to him in the garage area this morning, Darnell will not be back in this car until Nashville. It will have David Reagan in the car for Charlotte and Dover.
Okay, we got some more traffic right here for the leader. And this is going to cost Kyle Busch a little time right here, passing on the inside. If he can't get clear right here real quick, you see Kenseth catching him right here through the corner.
He
said, I smell him. Yeah, he's going to be able to get right to him and touch him here in a second.
Oh, look how fast he catches him on the entry of those corners.
Got another lap car going to figure in right here off this corner.
81 car of Kevin Hamlin. Kyle Busch goes underneath him, and here comes Kenseth just digging now. Okay, 7 car lengths,
now
make it 6.
Kenseth's got to pass this lap car, and he's going to have to be aggressive. He gets it done. Running out of time, though. 4 laps to go, last time by.
Matt Kenseth, the 2-time winner at this racetrack. He is no slouch here at all.
I see some more traffic ahead that's going to figure in before they get to the finish.
And, guys, he's outrunning them 3/10 of the lap. Kenseth is last time by. Even going through traffic, he's still catching them.
Lots of traffic now coming ahead right in front of the 18 car over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be trouble for Kyle Busch. Matt, like you said, he can smell him right here.
Well, that last time by is pretty even on lap times. 29.35 to 29.40, so awful close.
Strange things happen in the final laps at Darlington. The track too tough to tame. On a full moon here with NASCAR nationwide action.
2 to go.
2 laps to go.
Kyle Busch is going, come on, 40 car, move up, get out of my way. This guy's catching me.
Okay, the 40 car does give him room. Oh, we got a crash. No, Joe Nemechek into the inside wall.
Right front fender tore off the 11, a Legacy.
You called it, Doc. Crazy things happen at the end of this thing.
And this will give us a green-white checkered, so that means we will have the 16 right on the bumper of the 18 and the run for the win. There's the 87 of Joe Nemechek with a hard hit. And how about these guys? Eddie Pardue talking to his driver.
I'm not sure this wasn't a big break for Kenseth. I think he had a shot at him.
But it looks okay.
But these restarts, Kyle Busch has been just flawless on these restarts.
We saw Kenseth get really aggressive in this race, though, Andy. I mean, this guy, he smells that 18. He wants to get him right now. There's no doubt about that. And you know, we've talked earlier about how good that 18 car is on restarts. He takes off and he passes these cats on the outside. He's got nobody to pass right now. And that 16 car does.
You saw Jason Ratcliffe. He grew up in Sumter, South Carolina.
Inside that wheel well of Legacy. Must have had that. He must have been the one that had the contact with Nemechek.
Yeah, debris all over the racetrack. That's going to take some cleanup. Yeah, that's what's left of the front of the Chevy for Nemechek.
Scott Speed gets into Legacy, which takes out Nemechek.
And that's just, you just can feel the race end. You can see Scott Speed saw he could pick up a couple spots and got a little aggressive right there and took out 2 cars.
Yeah, yes, this is a tough break for Joe, too, because he doesn't have sponsorship on that car, and he's trying to race all these Nationwide Series races out of his own pocket, you know, and he's doing a great job with his team, but didn't need this.
Right front is flat.
And boy, this is the second time that Legacy's had some problems, and this is not his fault, that's for sure.
Let's check in with the leaders, crew chiefs down in the 16 pit. Jamie.
Well, Doc, Eddie Pardue is getting word right now. He's hearing there's a right front flat on Kyle Busch. Is that what you guys are seeing?
He definitely got, Matt's talking to me right now, but the City Financial is pretty good, but 18's got a right rear flat, so we're looking good here, so it'll be fun.
The right rear, we're going to have to watch and find out what happens with the 18. The car's all good. We're going to wait and see what happens on this restart, Doc, and follow up with the 18.
And guys, that right rear tire is down on Kyle Busch.
And boy, what he's got to do now, Jerry, this is really key. The 16 car, Matt Kenseth, know that right rear's down. He knows he'll probably spin. Which way is he going to go, high or low?
Well, Radcliffe's seen this also. He sees this there. He knows they got a flat tire. The only thing they can do right now is come down pit road.
He's got to pit it. You're exactly right.
They got to look at the big picture. They're trying to win a championship as well. They've come in here.
If he tries to restart this race, he is going to crash that race car.
And there are 18 cars on the lead lap. They got no choice. You're right, Andy.
He's wiggling around, and I don't know why he's doing that, because it's not going to air that right rear tire back up, that's for sure.
This is nothing but trouble. This is a great break for Kenseth, though.
And Jack Roush standing by with Jamie.
And he's listening to his driver right now. What do you think, Jack? Are you guys tasting a 15th victory here?
Just paying attention here to what's going to go on.
He's listening to Matt Kenseth, obviously reporting on what he saw on the 18. So we'll get back to him maybe in victory lane. He's listening. He's got his 3 cars out there, guys. We'll follow up after.
Very pensive and focused Jack Roush here, trying to be able to know that he may get his 15th win here.
Guys, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Kyle Busch is staying out, and pit road is open, so he could come down, but we have definitely got a problem there. And Andy, I'm with you. He tries it. He gets down to turn 1. Something's going to happen.
Remember, the championship a year ago was settled by just a 21-point margin between Clint Boyer and Carl Edwards. Carl said, I gave it away by finishing last at Darlington.
One of the big problems here, too, guys, is going to be this restart. If he tries to restart this race, he's going to be in front of a lot of cars. See a ton of debris on this back straightaway right here. Gosh, the pace car running through it. This could very well be where Kyle Busch got this flat tire from. Dave?
Yep, Kyle radioed his crew. He believes that's where he picked up the problem, and they want him to go by one more time, wishing, hoping that right rear tire might be up. But the spotter told him, nope, we got a right rear flat. We're going to have to come down pit road, guys.
Yep, no doubt about that, Dave. There's no way they can restart this race. If they do, they're going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people.
And he has dominated tonight. Led twice for 142 laps. Had never won here in a NASCAR nationwide race at Darlington.
We see Kyle Busch get pretty upset if something goes wrong while he's leading late in the race. I got a feeling this guy is going to be
he's not going to be happy about it.
Really mad, I'll tell you. Nothing he can do about it. No pit crew problems, nothing. It's just racing.
And you could see in Jason Ratcliffe's eyes, Jason is from Sumter, South Carolina. He wanted to win here at the home racetrack in front of all the fans and friends he grew up with. And now his driver is headed for pit road.
Everybody wants to win at Darlington. Just a tough break for Kyle. Had a dominant night going.
And boy, the fans are going crazy here when Kyle Busch came down pit road. Kent's is thinking, how did this just happen? Boy, did I get good.
Fans on their feet commenting on the fact this car has been unbeatable, and now debris on the racetrack puts him in the pits with 3 laps to go. Dave Burns.
And that's why they race the race, guys. You never know until these things are over exactly what's going to happen in a NASCAR race. Debris causing a tire to go down. They believe it to be the right rear. They'll change all 4, and with a certain number of cars left on the lead lap, Kyle will try to get as much as he can. But this is shades of Bristol, guys. A day where he dominated so much earlier this year, and it ended with disappointment on the day. Once again, looks like it here at Darlington.
You know, Dave, it's not over till it's over. And Kenseth looks good right now, but he's got a really hungry guy right behind him in that Jason Leffler.
Leffler dying to get back into victory lane. Hasn't won since July of 07 as they examine the tire for Kyle Busch's car. And also, by the way, Kyle Busch will restart by virtue of the single file restart. He'll be back in the 18th position. And with 2 laps to go, I wonder how aggressive Kyle will be.
He's going to be very aggressive.
Oh, my goodness.
We need a camera on him and a camera on the leader because this guy is going to be flying through the field.
Well, it was 112 points a moment ago with Kyle leading. And now with Kyle having to come on pit road, it is down to 31 points. 1 tire, 1 piece of debris, and wow, what a big swing in the points lead there for Kyle.
Tell you what, it's happened to the best. I remember when Dale Earnhardt Sr. was leading the Daytona 500 with 1 lap to go, and the tire went down. Kyle Busch is probably thinking, you know what, it's happened to the best. Just wish it wouldn't have happened to me.
Yeah, really. He had a great night going.
And what if your car, Ledwards, what are you thinking? You've had a car that's just had all kinds of issues, from radio problems to handling problems. You've been pretty much defenseless, and you've somehow gotten yourself in 3rd position thinking you're going to lose a lot of points, and now you get somewhat of a break because the guy you're chasing has issues himself.
It's still not over. He's got to get his car to the finish too. That's it's going to be a little tricky here on this restart.
Well, you saw the 60 car have problems at Phoenix, Arizona this year, and Kyle Busch had a great run. Now it's just a reverse of that, so they both are going to have problems.
Lights are off on the pace car, so they're trying to get it sorted out for the restart. Get all these lap cars in the right spot. Kyle Busch there is the last car on the lead lap.
This is the 60th season for racing here at the track Too Tough to Tame, Darlington, South Carolina. On a full moon, Mother's Day weekend. And it's been a wild one here for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Matt Kenseth trying to get his first win of the season, his 3rd win here at Darlington in the Nationwide Series.
Tell you what, guys, this is going to be hard with a green-white-checkered run here to get all these cars back to the start-finish line with all this intensity and everybody all jacked up at this track with 1 groove, 8 foot wide, up against a wall.
All right, here we go. Pace car pulling away. Leffler is hungry behind him in that Toyota. Can Kenseth hold on? How about Edwards back in 3rd spot? The rookie Darnell Allgaier, the rookie, in the top 5.
Kenseth bring him down extremely slow. See him trying to stack up behind.
Fans on their feet here at Darlington, South Carolina. They love the NASCAR racing here.
Got a car in the wall.
Behind you, trouble behind you. Yellow's out.
Yellow's out.
Yellow, that'll do it.
That is
big break for Matt Kenseth.
Morgan Shepherd in the wall, and this race will be considered official. Get 1 attempt at a green-white-checkered flag, and that was the attempt, and they will send the 16 car and Matt Kenseth to victory lane.
Good job. We had a great car, so good job. To get up pit road, too, you just know how hard it is to pass. So anyway, great job. We had an awesome car. That last set of tires was really good, just like the first set, so great job.
You know, you got to agree with him, Manny. I mean, this guy, he did win the race, and
he had the best car too. At the end of the race. He was catching that 18 car.
He did have the fastest car, so he can go home and sit in victory lane and go, I won the race. Yeah, I got a little lucky, but I was faster than him at the end.
Nice congratulations from Jack Roush down there to Eddie Pardue, the crew chief.
And what a great run for Jason Leffler here.
Nice job. Take advantage of situations when you got them. We put you behind a little bit on pit road, but you did it, man. Awesome job, guys.
They come down to the checkered flag under caution. They're in turn 3. You mentioned Leffler. This will be his 5th top 10 in a row, 7th top 10 in the last 8 races. And Leffler now beginning to move in. He's only 153 points back of Kyle Busch in 3rd place overall in the standings. Justin Allgaier will tie his career best finish of 5th, the rookie finishing 5th here at Darlington. Eric Darnell, his best ever finish of 4th. And across the start-finish line for the checkered flag for his 25th career win in this series, 5th all-time, Matt Kenseth. Well, let's go down and visit with Matt's crew chief, Eddie Pardue. Jamie.
Eddie Pardue, talk about momentum. Third win this season already with 2 different drivers. Let's talk about the finish of that race. Where did he come from? All of a sudden, he turned up the wick.
Well, the City Financial Ford Fusion was pretty good, but we lost a little bit in the pits today, and just clean air was so important. We just didn't have it today till at the end, and wish we could have raced the 18, but I'll take it like this.
And he just crossed the checkered flag. We'll meet you in victory lane. Let's go over to Dave.
Well, Jason Ratcliffe's driver led most of this race. How do you figure this one?
Just very disappointing for sure. I hate it for these guys, the Z-Line team, or for Kyle. He drove a great race, like you said. But hey, that's part of this sport. One day you're on top, and it can humble you pretty quick. But very thankful for this race team. Very thankful for Kyle, Z-Line, Toyota, and we'll just regroup and go get them next week. I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, my wife, and all the mothers out there. Hope you have a blessed Mother's Day.
We wish it could have been in victory lane for this team, guys. Remember, they bounced back from Bristol. They'll have to do it again from Darlington.
And Dave, they told Matt you can do a burnout, but we are going to seal this motor and use it again. So I don't know. As a crew chief.
He was okay on the engine, and once you tell a driver like Matt that, he's just going to take care of it and burn the tires a little bit. He can do that and not hurt the engine.
So that was like a mini burnout.
Yeah.
Just a little something to get the fans excited.
And ejection for Kyle Busch after just dominating the night. He had never won here in the Nationwide car. Thought he had it wrapped up, and suddenly a piece of debris, and it all goes away. He will be registered as finishing officially in 16th position. Kyle jumps in and moves away, and Carl Edwards, from communication issues to handling issues, he will be credited with a 3rd place finish. Eric Darnell there as well. And how about Jason Leffler finishing 2nd here tonight?
Yeah, Doc, 5th straight top 10 for Jason Leffler in this 38 team. Got to ask you saw Kyle Busch had his problems. Did you think he had a shot at a win there?
No, he was really fast, and right now that's the only way we're going to beat him was when they have problems. I guess unfortunate. He's really on a roll, and but the guys did great clips. Camry did a great job. Just got into Brad there at the start. I feel bad about that. I mean, we got together last week, but that certainly wasn't intentional. And just the way it went, we had a good race. So I'm pretty proud of these guys. I'm glad to drive in this race car.
Yeah, you guys have really come out of the box strong this season. What's changed?
Well, I mean, obviously we've just had a lot of new faces around the shop and renewed enthusiasm. Todd Braun is giving us everything we need to run up front, and we're taking advantage of it. So without great clips and Toyota and Todd and the whole Braun family, Ralph, everybody, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we're having the time of our lives right now.
All right, congratulations. We'll let Jason Leffler catch his breath. Great finish for this 38. Doc?
2nd runner-up finish in 4 races for Jason Leffler. Well, Matt Kenseth, his 3rd win at Darlington, 15th all-time for Roush Fenway Racing.
Matt Kenseth has confetti all over him mixed with some Gatorade here. Matt, talk about that last caution flag, what you were seeing before your very eyes ahead of you.
Well, I knew he had a flat, and I mean, Kyle had pretty much the best car all night. Although run 1 and run 3, we were probably as good as he was, but I knew he had a flat. I just wasn't sure what he was going to do because on a green-white-checkered, there's a caution, the race is over, so I didn't know if he was going to attempt to restart or not, but feels good to win a race in this car. Greg put the pressure on this year, winning twice in a City Financial car, so it's awesome to bring the City Financial Fusion home in victory lane.
Your Cup crew chief, Drew Blickensderfer, told me during the race, when you guys come to this racetrack, it's so important you must win, no excuses. What does it mean to win for your boss, Jack Roush, here?
Well, it's awesome to win at Darlington. I mean, it's such a special place, and to just have the privilege to come here and race at a track where so many great drivers have raced before us is pretty cool, and to be able to win is really a bonus. So we want to win everywhere. We try as hard as we can to win every week, but to win at Darlington is really special.
All right, congratulations. Matt Kenseth gets his first Nationwide Series victory this year.
Jamie, we saw a driver sweep both events at Richmond last week, and tonight it is Matt Kenseth in victory lane. He is on the pole for the Southern 500 here tomorrow night. And, of course, there's his wife, Katie, expecting their child, and what a special Mother's Day it could be for them here in Darlington, South Carolina. What an effort for Roush Fenway Racing. And the former Cup champion, Matt Kenseth, gets win number 25. He now sits 5th all-time in the NASCAR Nationwide Series in terms of career wins. Back in a moment.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Darlington Raceway. Brought to you by Toyo Tires. Toyo Tires is driven to perform. And Verizon Wireless. Get the inside track from Penske Racing, race analysis from our drivers, plus highlights and more on VCast.
The Diamond Hill Plywood 200 is history here in Darlington, South Carolina. The celebration ongoing in Victory Lane. Matt Kenseth, the winner. Jason Leffler finishing second. And, of course, Carl Edwards dodging a lot of bullets and coming home with a third-place finish. Shannon.
Doc, someone very happy to see that 18 team have problems is Carl Edwards, but man, what a night that you had behind the wheel of that car. Walk me through your night from the very beginning till the very last lap.
The first thing was the radio didn't work, so it's probably good for my guys. They didn't have to listen to me the whole time and use hand signals, and the guys really did a good job. I mean, we're trying so hard to catch Kyle, and we're trying to do it on the racetrack. You know, that's just racing luck that he had there. I don't think we were going to finish in front of him unless he had that, but really proud of my guys. I got to thank Save a Lot Ford, Miracle Grow Liquid Feed. We're knocking on the door. We're doing what we've got to do, but we just can't get to victory lane just yet. So excited about how we're running.
Now, you're one of the drivers, obviously, that says that you liked the old Darlington better than this Darlington. How much has it changed?
Well, the track's changed a lot. Man, the old track was all gritty and messed up and had bumps, and, you know, cars would slide around and everything. And this track is, I don't know what it's like for the fans, but for us, it's a little more, you know, you got to run a fine line. And it's fun for different reasons. But, you know, I like the bumps and the old track, but I guess this will get there, and eventually it'll be back to where it was. But a good night for us, and I'm just ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a long one, but it'll be good.
Well, good luck to you. 37 points separates Carl Edwards from Kyle Busch right now in the point standings.
Shannon, after race number 10, and just remember tonight with the 3 laps to go, Kyle Busch had a 112-point margin, but now Kyle finishes 16th, Carl finishes 3rd, and it was a 75-point swing by virtue of that flat tire. The margins, as you said, 37 points. Leffler now closing to 153. There's Logano inside of 200 points. So we're developing a pretty good points battle here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Now in the owners' points, Kevin and Delana Harvick now have gained a spot. They have moved back on top of the owners' point standings in front of the 18 car of Joe Gibbs Racing. And the guy that put that 33 car back on top, Ryan Newman, standing by with Dave.
And Doc, he just had a long debrief with the other owner, Kevin Harvick. You guys are in the owners' points lead right now. I know it wasn't easy getting there tonight on pit road, so what was it like on the track?
We just lost some track position on pit road there, and that really hurt. And it's kind of tough. I mean, it was those double file restarts, man. You're at the mercy of the guys that are lapped down trying to race for a lucky dog, and we just lost so much track position racing with those guys. So thank Kevin and Delana for the opportunity to drive the race car. It's, I guess, 2 weekends that I've got them into points lead, so hopefully we can do this some more and have some more fun. But we're unsponsored tonight, so anybody out there, these guys got a great program. They can do good. We'll just do what we can to try to have some fun racing.
I think it's a pretty good combo, you and Kevin. What did he want to talk about on the night?
Well, I told him I had a couple ideas what we could do to make the car better. We spent a lot of time scuffing our tires in practice and didn't have the opportunity to tune on the cars probably as much as we should have, and just spend too much time tied off of 4, and that really kills the motor down the front straightaway.
All right, debrief with the owner, and he battles back to 6th tonight here at Darlington. Jamie?
How about a run for 2 rookies tonight? I know we talked about them a lot, but 4th and 5th, Eric Darnell, Justin Allgaier. I'm going to ask you first. You were running right behind Kyle Busch. What was it like being at Darlington the first time running up there with these guys who are going for a championship?
Pretty cool. They tell you before you get here that this place is tough, and they're not lying. But we had a lot of fun out there tonight. Mike Kelly and all the guys in this Northern Tool and Equipment Ford did a great job. Our Fusion was fast tonight. They did an awesome job on pit road getting us that track position early on, and we were able to hold it to the end. I think we were about as good as Kyle on fresh tires and about halfway through a run, but he'd just get out there on a restart and get around lap cars and get away from me a little bit, and I'd have a hard time catching back up to him. Then I screwed up, rookie mistake. First time here, I hit the wall, hit a lap car, bashed in the right front fender, and got tight after that. And Justin was running me down, but all in all, I mean, for my first Darlington experience, that was pretty awesome.
Hey, and you can't walk out of here without a Darlington stripe, so that's to be expected by a rookie. But listen, we know that you're sharing the car with David Reagan. When will we see you behind the wheel again?
June 6th at Nashville will be my next race. David will be in at Charlotte in 2 weeks, and he'll run the next couple, and I'll be back at Nashville. Hopefully we can build on that with this run we had tonight.
All right, 4th place. That's that's something to sit on now until he gets back in the car in June. Now, Justin Allgaier, I talked to you before you got in the car today, and you're just staring at video of yourself in practice. How much did watching what you're doing around this track help you tonight?
Oh, it definitely helped. You know, I was watching turn 3. That was one of my biggest trouble areas. We knew we were getting through 1 and 2 really well, so we worked really hard on turn 3 and 4. And Chad Walter and all the guys just did an awesome job. The pit stops were great, and it's good to bring the Verizon Wireless car home as tying our career best.
I know you were a little nervous coming here. Your heart rate, Chad Walter said, it was about 260. You didn't sleep great last night. What do you think?
Well, this is the coolest place I've ever come to, you know. It was pretty funny. We were out there running, and Chad said, he goes, what do you think about having a whole straightaway to yourself at night at Darlington? He said, pretty cool, huh? I said, yeah, but it's a little bit tough today. My grandpa John had surgery, and so we're really thinking about him. He's going through some cancer battles, so we hope he recovers really quickly, and it's good to get a good finish for everybody back at home.
Hopefully that raises their spirits. Justin Allgaier brings it home 5th tonight. Mike?
And not a bad debut with Junior Motorsports for Scott Wimmer, bringing home a top 10. How would you assess the evening?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. We had to start back in 31st with the rain out today, but real happy for Fastenal Chevrolet. Everybody worked real hard. Got in the wall my first lap of practice, so the guys rebuilt the car, but not a bad run for us. We'll look forward to Milwaukee and hopefully run a little better there.
Obviously a big opportunity in front of Scott Wimmer. He still has 5 more races with Junior Motorsports. Dave?
With Joey Logano now, who expected a lot more out of his car than he got tonight. Understand it was a little bit mysterious. Did you break it down with Dave Rogers and figure it out?
No, we haven't figured it out yet. We're going to have to go home and see what's wrong with the GameStop Toyota. For the amount we loosened the car, it didn't make a difference. It just pushed all night long, and I don't know what it is. We worked hard all day, kept working on it, and just everything we did didn't do a thing. So we're kind of baffled right now, so we'll look back at it and see what we got.
And see what he has in 2 weeks. Ran as high as 4th, Doc, but finished 12th tonight.
It was a typical Darlington night, full moon, and strange things happen at Darlington Raceway. And as you say, it's never over till it's over, right? The question I got for you guys is, how is it that 2 raw rookies, and Eric Darnell and Justin Allgaier, can finish 4th and 5th, never having run here before?
Well, Doc, I think one of the main things that happened before this race started, everybody got a hold of these rookies and scared them and said, you got to respect this racetrack. Drive the track. Don't try to pass cars too early and stay off the wall a little bit. From what I saw tonight, those rookies took that notice, and they really did a good job respecting that wall, respecting this track, and I really think that's what's brought them home so successful tonight.
Yeah, you know, one other thing is these guys are good. I mean, these rookies are really, really good. Give Eric Darnell some credit. He's a very talented race car driver, and Allgaier has been running great all season long. So just a continuation of their race and their improvement.
Rusty, your thoughts on what Matt Kenseth did late? I mean, he took care of the car all night long and then suddenly just drove it, but was still somewhat careful there in the final lap.
Well, we know he got a break. There's no doubt about that, but he was a fast car. He was really fast. I guess when I think about Matt right now, Jerry, I think about him upside down at Talladega, destroying the car, and now he goes into victory lane. And it just goes to prove to you how much NASCAR, how tough it is. You go, you're on top of the world, then you're at the bottom of the world, then you're back up top. It's a tough sport, but this is a good feeling when you're in victory lane after you're upside down at Talladega.
Matt Kenseth becomes the 7th different winner in just 10 races here in 2009. Folks, you like what you saw? Lots more NASCAR Nationwide Series action coming your way. We head to Lowe's Motor Speedway in a couple of weeks. www.nascar.com/tickets if you want tickets. Dover, Nashville on the short track concrete. Kentucky, could we see another surprise winner there? And what about tomorrow night here? The Southern 500, Matt Kenseth on the pole. Jeff Gordon trying to tie the all-time legend Cale Yarborough. If he were to win, talking about Gordon, it would be his 83rd career win. He would be 5th all-time in NASCAR Sprint Cup history. So a great one coming your way tomorrow night. Tickets still available here in Darlington, South Carolina. What a night for Matt Kenseth. Roush Fenway Racing, 15 wins here at Darlington. And Matt Kenseth, slow and steady, he ends up in victory lane with his 3rd win at this famed old racetrack. Back to wrap it up in just a moment.
Quick reminder, the NBA playoffs continue on ESPN and ABC tomorrow night with 2 conference semifinal games. Action tips off at 5 Eastern on ESPN as Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs look to get back on track at home, hosting Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets. Denver leading that series 2-0 to none. Then at 8 Eastern on ABC, MVP LeBron James and the Cavaliers face the Hawks. Cleveland leading that one 2-0 to none. It's the NBA playoffs on ESPN, ABC, and also ESPN360.com. That is tomorrow. Tonight here at Darlington, the NASCAR Nationwide Series went racing for 200 miles. Turn 1, lap 1, it got ugly for one.
It would be called perseverance for Mr. Keselowski, who not only spun once, but twice and a third time tonight.
Mike Bliss also had to persevere after some early troubles. This at lap 6 when he gets nudged by Brian Scott and turned around off turn 2.
Once again, we got Mr. Keselowski, who is up in the marbles up there. Had a tire going down again. Had a lot of trouble with the tires tonight. Had a lot of flats, a lot of punctured tires, and it got him in trouble.
And the hockey term that you might not be familiar with.
The hat trick.
The hat trick 3 times for Brad Keselowski, who still came back and finished 11th. Flat spotted that set of tires.
Remarkable.
Some of the difficulties he had sliding around at Darlington. Now, this late incident with just a couple laps to go with Joe Nemechek and Scott Lagasse Jr. getting the worst of an incident started by Scott Speed in the 99, set up the leaders running through some debris on the racetrack and probably caused this.
Boy, this is painful. Kyle Busch led 143 of 152 laps and had to yield that lead to Matt Kenseth due to a flat tire.
So Kyle winds up finishing 16th. Then on the restart for the green-white-checkered, deep in the pack, Morgan Shepherd gets turned out of traffic into the wall. That brings the caution back out, and that's it. Race over. Matt Kenseth follows the pace car to the caution and checkered flags and then makes the trip to victory lane, celebrating the win on the night. So normally a hat trick's a good thing in a hockey game, Mike, but at a racetrack like tonight, not so good, huh?
It's not the hat trick that Tony Eury Sr. was looking for, nor was Brad Keselowski. How would you describe this night?
Well, I guess it all started this morning. We left a motel. Black cat run across the road in front of us when we was driving out of the motel, and I tried to convince everybody it had a white spot on it, but I guess it didn't. But it started off for the first lap. We didn't even get to the second corner. We got spun by the 38 car. I guess a payback from last week. And so we put tires on and fought our way back up through there and actually had a pretty good car. Got back up there and ended up getting a flat right rear tire. So we came in, put tires on, went back out. And then we got into a wreck with the 11 car. So it's been an eventful night. We sure used all our tires we had for sure. Everything we got's got holes in them. And but it, you know, we finished, come home 11th. I guess that's a pretty good night at Darlington. Spent out 3 times. Still got a car, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, and they definitely salvaged the night. An 11th place spot, considering what they went through this evening, Alan. Not too bad.
All right, Michael, thank you. So as the interviews and pictures continue in Victory Lane, we came on the air tonight talking about the tough old Darlington Raceway and the toll that it would take. 11 cars of the 43 starters failed to finish, and 10 cautions for 32 laps. And, of course, you mentioned Kyle Busch leading so much and winding up with a disappointing night.
Well, racetrack did what we thought it was going to do, and a lot of the drivers did as well. And we expected Kyle Busch to be up front. We just didn't expect him not to be standing in Victory Lane.
Nationwide Series has next weekend off. Our next broadcast Saturday night, May 23rd from Charlotte, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. And up next, Friday Night Fights, not in the infield here, presented by Just for Men Hair Color. Congratulations again to Matt Kenseth. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Darlington.